Hello, and welcome to Hello Sister, a Vampire Diaries podcast with a magical twist.
We're your hosts, Christina Rosso-Schneider
and Brenna Dinon. Christina, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. Just getting into spring, loving these warmer temperatures, the longer days. And I just recently got my hair done. I know you did too. It's looking great. It always makes me feel just, puts like a little extra pep in my step to have fresh color, fresh cut.
I love it. And when you came over to record today, I loved that. Like when I came in, I saw you having the matching, like with your hair, matching sweater. And so I'm loving the
strawberry shortcake
moment. And then like I'm also sporting my like lavender-y jacket to kind of go with my purpley hue hair. I don't know if it's perceivable with like the lighting in here, but
it's beautiful.
But it's a fun time, and I'm very excited that we both got little hair refreshes recently.
Yes. How are you doing?
I'm good. I just am keeping on with just stuff like boring adult stuff, but mostly working on pod things. Love I'm trying to think if there's like anything else that I'm excited. Well, yeah, I'm also excited for just warmer days. It's been genuinely so nice to just be done my like regular, like my professional work day and not have it be dark out. And I know that that's like kind of been the case for a few weeks now, but it's like really, really here now. And it's just so nice to just be like, oh, I can sit on the porch and relax, and there's still some sunshine waiting for me at the end of my day. So
yeah, it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, and I feel like probably with the shop too, you guys like can keep the door open, and it's really nice.
Door open days are the best. And then, because we stay open a bit later, then, I don't work until 5 o'clock. I work until 6 or 7 or whatever it might be. Getting home and there's still being sun it's so nice. It makes the day feel slightly less long. And it's nice to be able to walk the dogs when there's still sunlight.
Of course, yeah, because it is kind of like, because after a long day, it's like in the darkness, it's not as fun.
No, it's not great, and I just want to go to sleep. But I think there were a couple things we wanted to mention before we jump into episode 10.
Yes. So before we get into this episode, we just wanted to talk about a few ways that you could support us if you would like to, outside of your dedication to listening to us, whether that's through one of the podcast streaming services or YouTube, what have you. But additional ways to support our work with the podcast would be to subscribe on YouTube. I'm going to be like, smash that subscribe, like you guys know, liking, doing all those things that YouTube folks ask of their viewers if you are over there on YouTube, but it really does help and make a difference, especially just getting us out there more, just penetrating the algorithm, which I'll save those talks for later in the episode today. But we also leaving reviews like on just any of the podcasting platforms, and just sharing with friends and people that might like it. It really means a lot to us that folks who have shared out and have let us know that somebody that they know is now listening or watching along with us because of your recommendations. So we appreciate you. And one other way that can help support us is our some independent type stuff. So as we all know, that Christina and Alex own a Novel ID in Philly. So that's another great way to just support our small family business, our small family operation, because supporting our independent pursuits helps keep us doing more independent pursuits, which this is one of those things. So that's about that. Thanks, on the support front. And then we just have our last little reminder of socials.
Don't forget, we're on Instagram and Threads at Hello Sister Podcast. And a reminder that you can always email us about questions, photos of wonderful 2009 outfits, etc. All of those things can be emailed to us at hellosisterpodcast1864@gmail.com.
Woo! And I think that's about it. So we're going to get into episode 10. It's a doozy.
Sure is.
It's our mid-season finale. So let's get into it.
All right, let's dive into episode 10 of the Vampire Diaries called The Turning Point. Ooh. So this episode, we have a new director, J. Miller Tobin. The episode was written by our showrunners, Kevin Williamson and Julie Plec, and it aired on November 19th, 2009. As Brenna mentioned, this is the mid-season finale, so while you'll continue to get weekly episodes from your favorite sisters, folks who were watching this for the first time in 2009 had to wait 2 whole months to find out what happens after this episode. I can't even imagine.
After this episode, I can't believe, well, I guess I did in real time do that because I was watching it live, but dang, what a way to end this like first part of the show, and I'm excited to reflect on that as we go through the episode.
Can't wait. So as always, we love to share the IMDb synopsis. This is a shorty, just one sentence. When Sheriff Forbes tells Damon of another attack, he offers to track down the killer, learning startling information about the town's founding families. I have notes, as always.
Yeah, what?
I feel like, yes, these things all happen, but as always, it's not how I would have written it.
No.
And I feel like there's some interpersonal things going on that it is not alluding to, but
IMDb. I mean, like, honestly, don't ever change because we do love them. But also, what? I'm so confused.
So why don't we jump on into the first scene, Brenna?
Here we go. Okay, so this opening scene is titled "Don't Let the Wrong One In," and we are at the Gilbert residence. And we are picking right back where we left off at the end of last week's episode with Jenna answering the door to one Logan Scumfell, who is looking for her to invite him in, but she is not having it.
She really isn't.
No. She brings up the breakup email, and it's clear that Logan was unaware that it was sent, but he plays it off like he knew and tries appealing to Jenna to let him in by insulting her, suggesting how easily she says yes to things, and she rightfully slams the door in his face. And then Logan, frustrated after that exchange, leaves the Gilbert residence and eyes a man taking out the trash. They exchange pleasantries, but the man returns inside. And from behind, a woman named Daphne is running and passes Logan, but stops when she notices him. And she's a fan of his his journalistic work, I guess. And very flirty until Chomp. Because he is a vampire. And, cue credits. Man,
You're doing great.
Sorry, guys. But yeah, so anyway, back after the credits, so we're back inside the Gilbert house, and it's the next morning, and Jeremy is reading Jonathan Gilbert's journal, which we saw he kind of got it through the episode, and he reads from it aloud, which says, "I live in fear. It consumes me. In the early evening when I see the sun begin to fade, the fear comes because I know that the night brings death."
Ooh, spooky.
So inside the journal, we see some drawn images of what looks like Baphomet, an occult deity associated with the Knights of Templar and modern-day Satanism, with some magical hand signals and a pentagram with words that look like ancient text within the journal entry. And there's also a fun little skeleton at the bottom of the page. Jeremy flips through the other pages, and there's a sketch of a man who may or may not be Jonathan Gilbert, was kind of my thought. Jeremy then puts the journal down and grabs his sketchbook. He's an artist, everybody, and starts sketching what looks like a vampire with charcoal. And Elena looks like she's wrapping up, getting ready for the day, but notices him sketching, closes the bathroom door, and doesn't want to disrupt him. Elena goes downstairs to tell Jenna what Jeremy's doing, and she's also getting ready, and they decide not to say anything to him because if they encourage him, he'll stop. And Jenna agrees and acknowledges because she is a psychology major.
She apparently is.
She's a psychology major, everyone. And then Elena checks her phone, and it's clear she's sad. Jenna asks her about Stefan, and she tells her that he's moving away. They both leave the house together, and the conversation continues with Jenna mentioning that Logan's returned, and Jenna tells her about what happened last night, and Elena says to stay away from him and to not even watch the news. And Jenna hits us with a Logan Scumfell, which I appreciated.
Yes, absolutely.
So what this is kind of like a longer opening sequence than we're used to getting.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like, at least for me, even if I hadn't seen the show multiple times, it was pretty obvious for me that when Logan came back, he's a vampire.
For sure. I mean, his outfit alone just said, like, because it was just, you know what I mean? Like, because he does look like a little more, like, bad guy.
Yeah, he does. He does. And, you know, his whole, I'm going to insult you to get in. I'm like, bro. So I'm really glad that Jenna doesn't fall for it. So that's a hot beginning. I do feel like, so obviously he walks away from the house. He sees the old man putting out his trash, says hi to him, whatever. And then Daphne runs by and is like, I'm a big fan. She introduces herself, all of this stuff, and Trump, as we know. But that scene ends with her screaming as he chomps. And this happened right in front of the Gilbert house. And no one heard anything. And that old man who just went inside didn't hear it.
Yeah, it's questionable.
It's questionable.
Like, I think if a neighbor of mine was gutturally screaming, or just someone that's outside, I'd probably at least check to see, even if it was like peering through a window first just to see what was going on. And then if I was seeing somebody attack someone else, I would definitely, at minimum, call 911.
Well, also for a town that is a small town that is supposed to be so safe that people give Elena Gilbert's address out, right? That people know where everyone lives. People probably don't lock their doors, all of that kind of stuff. So someone screaming is atypical. It's not like living in the city.
Yeah.
So, and as someone who lives in the suburbs, I can attest to the nosiness that I have and that my neighbors have.
For sure.
If anything is going on.
Yeah.
We're either outside or we're at our windows peering in to see what's going on.
100%. Yeah. So that's a little sus that nobody's checking.
Yeah.
But
What else about this scene?
So I feel like the Jeremy looking at the journal is something that's deeply intriguing, right? Like, so reading that quote, it's just very, I mean, it feels very connected to the vampires of it all, right? Or potentially, I mean, he is also sketching a vampire, so we can guess that maybe ancestor Jonathan Gilbert has maybe brushed up with some of these things potentially. I don't know, but
specifically saying that the fear starts when the sun's setting.
Yeah.
And then, you know, whatever kind of creatures he's drawing, certainly.
Because he's doing like all kinds of occulty drawing. So just a little sneak peek for later. We'll circle back to Baphomet. And we'll talk a little bit more about Baphomet as like an occult deity and just in general. But either way, there's all these like interesting, like there's words. I originally thought they were glyphs, but I think you did see, because I guess it's an ancient language, but it's probably, you said that you were thinking it was
Greek
more
or Latin.
Yeah.
I froze the TV and was just looking at different texts. So I think it's one of those.
Yeah. So there was just a lot of cool stuff to look and that I don't know. It's just like we don't always, you know, focus too hard in on those kinds of things, but it's kind of like fun to just check it out, especially because it's so connected with the larger arc of the story, right?
Right. So I'm excited to get that, and it was really cool to have a journal opening scene, and it's not Elena or Stefan. So
yeah, no, it was very clever. It was a big opening, and also just forever proud of Jenna for taking care of herself and
Absolutely.
closing that door.
Absolutely. So moving into our next scene called Kids Are Too Young to Be Brought Into This, we go to the Salvatore boarding house where the brothers are discussing travel plans. Damon says he's thinking about London to see some friends, to which Stefan reminds him that he doesn't have any friends. So Damon's like, well, where are we going? And Stefan rejects this, saying he wants to live as far away from Damon as possible. He asks again what Damon's travel plans are because he says they are not staying in Mystic Falls. The doorbell rings, and the brothers are surprised by this. Stefan goes to answer the door. It's Sheriff Forbes, and she's looking for Damon. Damon invites her in, and they end up moving to this gorgeous outside courtyard to talk in private because Stefan doesn't know about vampires yet. And she says, of course, because kids are too young to be brought into this, hence the title of the scene. She shares the news of the latest attack. And this is surprising for Damon, right? Because he doesn't know there's another vampire in this moment. And he's like, I thought we took care of it when I staked the blonde one, aka Lexi. Sheriff Forbes says she thinks Lexi must have turned someone or potentially multiple someones. Stefan is inside listening with his vamp hearing, but he's also confused by this information. Sheriff Forbes says for now the cover-up is another animal attack, but she's not sure how long they can keep lying to the town or the town will keep buying that excuse. The council, she says, is in an uproar, and Damon asks what they're going to do, to which Sheriff Forbes says she was hoping Damon could tell them, since he's the only one who's taken on a vampire before. Wow, what a scene. Okay.
What a scene.
I gotta say, just I love, I said this in the last episode of how I would just love to follow the Salvatore brothers going on a road trip across the country, or to another country. I just think that would be really enjoyable TV. So I'm like, yes, of course, I understand that Stefan doesn't want to travel with Damon, and I agree that they shouldn't stay in Mystic Falls. But I also agree with Damon that they are kind of this perfect, albeit misfit team.
For sure. And I mean, I would love to see Damon and Stefan going to London together. Just
to London
town to see the sights, to go catch a play at the Globe. I think that would be so fun.
Yeah.
Honestly, what do you think their favorite Shakespeare shows are?
I mean, I feel like Stefan's gotta love Romeo and Juliet. Like, I just think, right? Like,
and like Hamlet.
Yeah.
I feels like, because he kind of feels like a Hamlet a little bit. Maybe not as insane, but, or like, as he descends into madness, but.
Yeah, I feel like Damon would probably I feel like he might like some of the lighter ones that are a little more fun, like As You Like It.
Or like Much Ado About Nothing.
Yes, I feel like he might get into that. And then I also could see him going total opposite end and being like King Lear.
I love that. That would be genuinely great.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, I would watch that.
I would watch it. Sign me up.
But okay, so here's something that I was laughing at multiple times when I was watching the scene is when Sheriff Forbes says the line about Stefan being a kid, and she's like, "Don't bring the kids into it," which is why it's the title of this scene. But I know that I understand that like Stefan technically is supposed to be a 17-year-old and looks like a 17-year-old, and we have definitely talked about this on the podcast before. However, he does also not he does look mature for his age. So when the way she's like, best not to bring kids into it, I'm like, ma'am, he's like multiple times your age.
Yeah. It is funny.
There's just something funny about it. And I think you're right about the courtyard and terrace. It's beautiful. So I wish. Actually, they're like, that kind of reminds me of your parents' house a little bit. Like, just
my parents do have a little courtyard like that.
Yeah, it's cute. Very cute. All right, on to our next scene. How are you doing with all of that? We're in Mystic Falls High. We're back at school and we're seeing students hang up signs for career night. Inside, Caroline and Matt are talking about TV that they've watched together or fell asleep to. And it's clear they're enjoying spending time together as they're walking down the hall. We also catch a glimpse of Tyler noticing them judging.
Mm-hmm.
Elena and Bonnie are also walking down the hall from the opposite direction, and Elena asks Bonnie if she missed something regarding Caroline and Matt, and Bonnie tells her they've been hanging out. Elena says this is kind of weird, but Bonnie says Caroline needs someone nice like Matt instead of a homicidal vampire like Damon. Elena asks how Bonnie is doing with all of that. It's just like, kind of cracks me up the way that she's like, how are you doing with all of that?
Yeah.
It's like another like silly line. But regarding, Bonnie, this is the life of vampires existing is very new to Bonnie at this point. So she is freaked out, but she is grateful for Stefan for saving her life. And she asks Elena if she's seen him, but Elena says no, and that she's not sure if he's already gone or not. But Bonnie tells her that Stefan wouldn't leave without saying goodbye. And Elena says, actually, he would do that to make a clean break. And Bonnie asks, like, what Elena's going to do. But Elena pretty much responds back to being like, I mean, I've done everything I can try to, like, convince him to stay. But then Bonnie, practically, in a practical way, is like, well, this is probably for the better because there probably couldn't have really been a future there with you two, with him being a vampire, right?
Yeah.
So, and this definitely bothers Elena, of course, because, like, I don't know, I guess she wasn't really thinking about that.
She's never thought about it until this episode, as we will see.
She hasn't really thought about it until just now. And so as they're kind of still having this conversation, a banner falls in front of them saying, "The promise of your future." And Elena asks if that was Bonnie's doing, and she says no. And Elena, obviously still upset by Bonnie's kind of very logical thought process, is upset and walks away to class. Or stomps away to class. It kind of is a little bit of a stomp. It's like a little like a huff, I guess. I don't know. So what do we think about this?
Yeah. So I agree with Bonnie that Caroline deserves someone nice.
Yeah.
For me, the verdict's still out on how I feel about Caroline and Matt.
Yeah.
But I don't totally understand Elena thinking it's weird because, like, it's now been, what, like, probably, like, 5 months since she dumped him?
Yeah.
And, I'm just like, let him go. If you don't want him and you're literally all, sad over Stefan, like, and also not even, like, you don't want him, let her have him.
Yeah.
Nothing or has been shared with you is saying that it's romantic. It could be totally platonic.
Right.
And of course, everyone's jumping to the conclusion that it's not, and we'll see, what happens. But in this moment in time, they're just spending time together. And they've known each other since they were like children. So, but how do you feel about that? How do you feel about friends dating exes?
I feel like it's one of those things where if the breakup was, I don't know if we would say that Matt and Elena's relationship was like amicable. I guess it was amicable, but I guess he was obviously still very, like, it wasn't like a mutually agreed upon breakup, right? Like, because
he's still totally in love with her.
Which, so that can be like a little dicey. But if it's like Elena's made it clear that she's not interested, and potentially Caroline and Matt could be like a better couple or maybe better suited for each other, and you the person that dated that person doesn't have any romantic interest in that person anymore, like, then why not? And like, don't get like, that's, I don't know. I don't have issues with it, like, as long as it wasn't like, it would be different if it was like a super right, if it was like a super messy breakup, like if they had a very, maybe if Elena and Matt had like a super toxic, messy, whatever, and then Caroline and him were hanging out, then I'd be like, okay, well, maybe we don't do that. But like, because it seems it was very just like chill, I don't know if, and also very high school, I'm sure it didn't get like that deep in their relationship, that I'm sure it would be fine if Caroline and Matt did decide to date, I guess.
I have almost only exclusively had toxic exes. So for me, I'd be like, no, you are not allowed to date. Like, if you are my friend and you were there for me when they cheated on me or whatever, like, no, our friendship won't survive you dating them. Like, what is wrong with you? Yeah. But I absolutely agree. In a scenario like this where Elena has said the relationship was not passionate. Yeah. And it just kind of felt like they should date because kind of everyone said they should date. And like, obviously he's still in love with her, but she's not interested and has totally moved on, that I'm like, who cares? Yeah, who cares? Like, genuinely, who cares? Yeah. I just think that, like, hey, maybe just, like, Elena, butt out is all I have to say. Or have a conversation, but to judge it, like, it's weird that they're hanging out. I know that Matt told us and told Caroline last episode that he never liked her. Yeah. Like, just go away, Elena.
Yeah, she's being weird. But also, welcome back, Tyler. We have to say he finally showed back up on the scene, but also, like, mind your own business as well. In terms of all of this, like, what are we doing?
I agree. You also pointed out that Elena is wearing a scarf.
Elena is wearing a scarf, and she has the scarf, and she takes it off when they're walking down the blazer. Hall. And also, like, did you notice about her? I noticed this on the most recent watch of her, like, her skinny jeans with her tall, like, flat boots. It's so iconic.
Of the time. It's of the time.
But all right.
We'll move into our next scene called Damon Teaches Stefan the ABCs. We are back at the Salvatore boarding house, and Stefan is still listening to the sheriff and Damon's conversation. In the background, Damon, leads Sheriff Forbes out, saying he'll let her know when he comes up with something for their vampire issue. As soon as he shuts the door, Stefan vamp speeds over to Damon, accusing him of killing another person. Damon denies this, telling Stefan has to be another vampire in town. This is where the A, B, and C come up, because he says, A, don't touch me. B, if I had, I wouldn't have been so obvious about it. And C, there's another vampire in town. Stefan says this is impossible, but Damon's like, obviously, it's not. Damon then goes on to say, what do you even care? Because you're leaving town anyway. And Stefan's like, well, I can't leave now. I just actually love that exchange between them. So he asks his brother how they're supposed to find this person, this vampire, and Damon replies, let the adults handle this, Stefan.
Oh my God, these two. Just honestly a great exchange between these guys.
Yeah, it's great.
All right, on to our next scene. We think there's trouble brewing, and we are back at the high school. So Elena is leaving school with a friend and parts ways with her when she sees Stefan outside, and it's clear they're both happy to see each other. Stefan tells them that they need to talk. Very high school. Mm-hmm. We need to talk. But not for what you think. So somewhere on campus, Matt and Tyler are also playing basketball, and Tyler is calling him out on hanging out with Caroline, but Matt says there's nothing up between them. Tyler says he saw them in the hall today and says, don't even deny it, bro. You're tapping at Tyler.
He's such a dick.
I can't. Matt rejects this and says it's not like that. And Tyler says it's never until you become we people, inferring that couples do this. Matt says they've only hung out twice. Stefan, we jump back to where Stefan and Elena are, and Stefan gave Elena the lowdown about the new vampire in town, and it must be someone new because they're either being sloppy or they're trying to send a message. Elena asks him if he's sure it's not Damon, and he says he's never certain, but his brother has been trying to keep a low profile. And Stefan shares that Damon is tracking the vampire right now, but Stefan wanted to let her know because he promised her the truth and that he wants her to be careful. Elena tells Stefan when she saw him, he thought that Stefan was coming to say goodbye, but he says, not yet. All right. Where did Elena...
Where the mystery of Elena's disappearing scarf. Because she had it, now she's outside leaving school, no scarf. Being me, I did look up the weather for this date in Falls Church, Virginia, the town that this is based on. The high was 63, so it was actually pretty warm.
Yeah. That's an ornamental scarf like Caroline. Rest in
Well, and
peace.
also they're filming in Georgia, so it was definitely warm.
It was definitely warm.
But I was like mid-November, and then I was like, you know what? Before I knock her, let me look it up. And then my other thoughts are Caroline and Matt seem really chummy for only 2 hangs, right? And also, I mean, but I feel like it could be the kind of like Elena and Stefan, we talked all night, it was epic kind of thing. To if Caroline and Matt, maybe they have only hung out those 2 times, but they stayed up all night together. He's still diminishing it, but I'm like, okay. And then I really want to know, do we think Matt and Elena were wee people? I feel like Matt was a wee person.
I was just going to say that. I do think that Matt would, like, Elena would be like, she would not be calling them wee people, but Matt would be like, oh yes, we are coming to the bonfire in the woods.
Yeah.
We are going. Yeah. And no.
Sorry,
Elena,
man, can't come. We are going to the movies.
We are going to the movies. Yeah, I definitely think that's how it went with those 2. And then she would be like, can't wait to see you girls. Like she was just like focused on her and her ladies.
Yeah. I also, what do we think tracking entails for Damon using his vampire skills for that?
Great question. I think
because we don't find out.
We definitely don't find out. But well, I guess we get a sort of answer in the way of his scene with Caroline, but we'll get to that in a minute. But I think in general, like if they're tracking, I'm gonna guess they're just using kind of like those more heightened senses to maybe like smell or I mean maybe they're good at, because they've been around for a while, they are good at like tracking, just like visually assessing a scene and seeing if there's anything going on like that's weird, or asking people around, like doing some citizen detective shit, I guess maybe. But
I wonder if vampires smell like anything.
Yeah. So the great question. So something about that, right? Like I would think, because maybe he would start from where he would maybe think he would see something amiss and then go, but who's to say?
Who's to say? So we'll move into our next scene, which is a little shorty, before we actually find out more about Damon's tracking efforts. This scene is called Gilberts Are Lunatics and Drunks. We are at the Gilbert residence. Jeremy is sketching on the couch. This sketch is very clearly a vampire. And he asks Jenna what she thinks about his sketch, which she replies, creepy. He goes on to share that he found Jonathan Gilbert's journal from the 1800s in his dad's stuff, and that Jonathan Gilbert was kind of a freak show, writing about demons and people getting slaughtered. Jenna tells him that Jonathan Gilbert was actually a writer, short stories, and horror stuff. Surprise, but it's also kind of clicking into place for him. Jeremy thought he was just a lunatic or a drunk. And Jenna goes to the bookcase to get another journal and says that Jonathan Gilbert was a Gilbert, so he's probably a little bit of both.
Love that.
Okay. Yeah, this is great.
Here's my question to you. What do you think one of Jonathan Gilbert's short story titles were?
Well, I came up with multiple. I wanted to give you options.
Okay, great. Okay.
There's a lot of alliteration, but I feel like that tracks for like gothic horror of that time. So, The Blasphemous Banshee.
Ooh.
That might be my favorite. The Mortal Man's Peril.
Love.
Hauntings in the Catacombs.
I'm a hoe for a catacomb.
Or Werewolves at Wickery Bridge.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I like that one. All right. Blasphemous Banshee and Werewolves at Wickery Bridge. I mean, they're all great. But yeah, I feel like we've got options. And you know what? Maybe do you think that he submitted to his local literary lit mag?
He may have.
They existed then, I think, right?
Oh, yeah,
so
certainly.
like they had some kind of like, I mean, obviously they did. Yeah. So you know, hey, that's awesome. But I as soon as Jenna said that, I was like, we got to come up with some ideas for what those short stories might look like. So thank you for that so much. Okay, moving right along. Next scene. Bury me in the cemetery behind a used car dealership on the Highway 4.
I'm so glad you love it.
I didn't even see this.
play on a book that you read semi-recently.
I gotta read it one more time just for dramatic effect. Bury me in the cemetery behind a used car dealership on Highway 4, which is a play on Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab, which we have talked about on this podcast.
And is available at a Novel Idea.
I'm obsessed. I want to know. I need to know. Actually, we'll have to figure out what the headcanon is for this at some point in time because I think there's a story here. But all right. I can't. That's so funny. I love it. Thank you so much for that. All right. So the location of this scene is at a mysterious warehouse that kind of looks like the outside of Mystic Falls High, which is probably true. And they probably just repurposed the area. Probably.
It honestly looks very similar to where the druggies hang out.
Oh, yeah.
There's just not dumpsters.
Right.
It's at night.
They just moved.
Well, actually, no, in this moment, it's during the day, but we do see it at night.
Just like move the dumpsters. Yeah. Be like, all right, this is honestly.
And warehouse.
And now it's a warehouse. But okay, so on the phone with Damon, Caroline holds the vampire compass and we see the dial flit back and forth. She asks Damon what to do now and he says he'll be there momentarily. And she seems annoyed, expressing that she has things to do. Damon Vamp pops up behind her and asks for her to give him the compass. She wants to know why he needed her to do this, to which he responds that he interferes with the signal. Caroline asks if she can go now, and Damon compels her to go home and forget she did this for him. Her demeanor toward him changes as she cheerily says goodbye. Once she leaves, Damon goes into the warehouse. He looks around and walks through the dark building, and Logan comes from around the corner and shoots him with some wooden bullets. Wooden bullets are back. Damon drops to the ground, groaning in pain. Logan approaches with a shit-eating grin. Logan shares that he has tons of wooden bullets, and when Damon tells him he doesn't want to do this, Logan shoots him again. Damon yells in pain, and Logan says this is what he gets for turning him into a vampire, but Damon tells him that he didn't turn him. Logan then says that he knows Damon and Stefan are vampires and that he's been following them, and he said he knew Damon would track him here, and he wanted to do this because he has questions. Understandably, new vampire. They go back and forth with them wanting to know who turned Logan, and Damon pulls the wooden bullets from his body. Logan says the last thing he remembers is that he was about to stake Stefan when Damon came and grabbed him and bit him. And he insists that Damon is the one who turned him. And Damon explains that someone does, like, that's not how someone becomes a vampire because he, like, didn't give him his blood. So Logan expresses frustration at having to learn about being a vampire as he goes, including that he can't get into his house since he lived alone, which is honestly kind of hilarious. And also I love that, like, the way that Damon / Ian Somerhalder was like, oh, that sucks. Like, he's just kind of like, And we learn he's been staying at a motel, watching pay-per-view, and eating everything in sight, including housekeeping. He says he feels conflicted, but he likes killing people. Damon, ever a quick thinker, mentions that the only one body was found, and Logan tells him that he was so tired that he left the body, and he's been hiding the rest here in the warehouse, which he then kind of like gestures over to show. Oh, man. What a little scene.
I mean, it's a little scene that packs a punch, right?
Yeah.
Or a bullet.
Yeah. Several wooden bullets.
I really hate that Damon is still using Caroline for things. I'm glad that up until the final exchange, he's not compelling her, though I am curious maybe like how he got her to agree. Maybe he did compel her in the beginning.
Yeah.
But I'm like, just leave her alone, man.
Yeah. Like, why are we still not giving friends and family of the people that know about vampires vervain? I don't understand. Because, okay, question, because Dwight brought this up on our recent watch. And what happened to the vervain in the basement?
We don't know.
Like, it's still there. Like, no one did anything to it. Like, Damon didn't do anything with it, did he?
Well, he's given some of it to the sheriff.
That's true, yes. But
just a small box. He was like, this is all we have right now, and we know that's not true. unless he destroyed some, which I doubt he did.
Yeah.
So I guess he's just hoarding it. But yeah, why aren't we giving it to loved ones? I do understand it. Has very limited humans. Like Elena wouldn't do this for him.
Yeah.
Bonnie wouldn't do this for him. Sheriff Forbes can't know.
Yeah.
And like, he knows Mrs. Lockwood's on Vervain.
Yeah.
Which means that Tyler should be on Vervain, right? Because it's for the founding families. But if Sheriff Forbes has Vervain, wouldn't she give it to Caroline? I have questions.
Well, this isn't going to be the first time we're going to be attacking Sheriff Forbes' parenting skills. So
no, certainly not.
But
I think you want to say something about Caroline's outfit.
Oh, yes. Caroline's outfit is just like so peak, like, wait, where is it? I'm trying to find my little noties right here. Where is it? Oh, her outfit with the booties. Those booties. So like just like Elena had the tall boots in her like first scene. Caroline has like the heeled booties.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have a pair of heeled booties like that?
I had two. I definitely had heeled booties, and then I had multiple like suede boots, like flat boots, like the ones Elena's been wearing.
Yeah. So I definitely had ones like similar to Caroline's, and I was like, heck yeah, girl, like this is great. And her hair, just perfect.
It looks great as always.
With her little flippy, like she has like a cute little, kind of like your little cute flipped hair at the bottom. So always a flawless queen when it comes to her hair.
She is. I know that this made you laugh in the notes, but I really wonder if this is Logan Scumfell's undead investigative journalism. But honestly, it's really just inspiring me to ask more questions.
Yeah.
So here's a few of my questions about this scene. Wouldn't Damon have been able to hear Logan when he entered to the warehouse? Right?
Mm-hmm.
And if he couldn't hear him, wouldn't he have been able to smell the giant pile of dead bodies? Which was why when we were talking about tracking, I was like, well, if you can track someone here, which obviously we now know using the compass, but he may have used other things, right?
Sure.
How are you not catching those things? I also want to know how Logan has so many wooden bullets. He also apparently is very good at using a gun with having no experience, as we talked in a lot of detail last week. There's no way that they left bullets and a gun with him when they buried him behind the used car dealership on Highway 4. So how is he getting them? That's another question. And then my last question, which I actually forgot to write down in my notes, but was something I thought about on one of my many watches of this episode, is that he can't get into his home because he's dead. But if no one alive lives in the house, wouldn't the invitation no longer exist? And we will explore as the show goes on if they actually stick to that, or if the person who owns the home dies, if you can enter.
Yeah, I feel, because that's what I was like trying to think about that because I was also thinking about just him not being able to get into his own home too, because I thought there was something, I mean, maybe this is in general vampire lore about like, and maybe it does come up in the show, I can't remember, but it probably does, like you said, but like I thought like if there's no living person that is there, then it shouldn't be an issue getting in. But
so I have questions. I don't have answers. I just have a lot of questions.
I
have even more questions than he has.
Yes. These are all really valid. And it's just like these two, honestly though, I feel like Logan's like scumminess with Damon's just like sarcasm is just, it's kind of fun.
It's enjoyable to watch, certainly.
But all right. Shall I move on to our next scene?
Move into our next scene, Crushed at the Career Fair. We are back at Mystic Falls High, and we're at the career fair. Sheriff Forbes and Mayor Lockwood walk together. He asks what they know about this new vampire, and she says there's nothing new to report. The mayor is not happy about this, and she fires back that he can grab a stake and have at it. He then asks about extra precautions, to which she says being in public is safest, and that for once they actually know where their kids are. She turns to look at Caroline, who is chatting with someone who we don't know. Meanwhile, we see Tyler flipping through art sketchbooks, and Jeremy clocks this. He comes over and Tyler asks what he wants, and Jeremy responds that he's surprised to see Tyler at the art table, making a jab that art usually implies culture, and culture implies, well, not you. Ooh, burn, Jeremy.
Sick burn.
Tyler tells him to go to hell and walks off. Jeremy is pleased with himself until he looks down to see that the sketch that the book is open to is one signed by Tyler Lockwood, who has beautiful penmanship. That beautiful cursive.
Penmanship.
Beautiful.
I mean, these little artists, these two artists.
Tortured artists.
These tortured artists.
Well, I'll talk about my canon for them as we get deeper into the episode. So then, again, still happening at the career fair, Elena goes up to Matt and asks if he still wants to be an astronaut. They reminisce about that. I think he was like 8 years old when he said that. Before Elena switches to conversation topics to ask how he's doing. Because remember, his sister is, to him, missing, right?
Yeah.
He says he's had it easier, and he asks how she is, saying that he heard she and Stefan broke up. As he's in the middle of saying this, Caroline walks in, sees them, looks upset, and exits. Elena confirms to Matt that it's true. She and Stefan have broken up. And then she turns the tables on him, saying she's heard about Caroline. He insists they're just friends and it's not a big deal. And when she playfully teases him, which she's like flirty with him this entire conversation, he gets really serious and says, no, it's not a big deal. Obviously communicating with his eyes that he still loves her. At this moment, Stefan walks in and they turn to face him. Matt looks from Stefan to Elena with contempt/sadness. All right, what are some thoughts?
Goodness. So where do we want to start? Do we want to start about? Let's start with Ty. We'll get to whatever's going on with Elena and Matt in a second. Mm-hmm. But how do we feel about the shared interest of Tyler and Jeremy being artists?
I love it. I think it gives them both nuance and layers. Mm-hmm. And my canon is that in another universe they get together.
I think, and maybe that's why they've just been beefing so hard.
Because they're actually in love.
Vicky was just their beard.
She was their beard.
Well, she's not here anymore, so cleared the pathway for this. And what I said to your headcanon, and I said that maybe they're the heated rivalry of Mystic Falls.
I love it. I'm here for it.
It's just Matt. Or Matt, not Matt. Matt is in a whole other mess of a situation.
Matt's going to be with Stefan, we talked about.
Matt. But see, Matt has a crush on Stefan, though.
Yeah.
And he also still loves Elena.
Yeah. Thruple.
These guys are just also messy, but I'm here for Jeremy and Tyler being the heated rivalry of Mystic Falls.
Yes,
so
I am too. I just had to say, as they're entering the career fair and you're seeing all the little things, all the little tables and stuff, that as far as careers go in Mystic Falls, I gotta say, I don't think anyone should go into teaching. I'm still not convinced, A, that it's a real job, and B, the last guy, besides obviously we recently met Rick, but the last guy who we knew as a teacher got murdered.
Yeah. And it's just teaching in this school doesn't seem legit, and there really aren't that many teachers there.
Yeah.
So
I also don't know why they even bother doing a career fair, because as we've seen, everyone just does what their family members did.
That's so true. It's an interesting thing. Career fairs, and did you guys ever do that? Did you guys have those?
I'm sure we did.
Yeah, I don't remember it being a thing. It was.
I didn't need to go to one because I've known what I wanted to do since I was 8 years old. So
I love it.
I was probably I don't need to go to that.
Yeah, you were bye. And hey, listen, you're doing it. So,
but yeah, they definitely do career fairs in high school and the college I teach at. I know they do things like that as well. We already kind of talked about the flirtiness that Elena does towards Matt, because it's really not fair to him, or in this moment, like, I guess she's gotten over thinking it's weird that he and Caroline are hanging out, but it's not fair to Caroline. Like, you don't want to be with him. Let him be. And the more I see the two of them interact, it just makes me think about some friendships I've had with guys where it was always flirty in nature. And like one of my best friends, we've been friends since first grade. Like, we never dated, we never crossed that line. And I think that might be why we've had a friendship for 30 years. Because every time I've like crossed that line with someone who is a friend, it's never as passionate as I think it's going to be.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of talk, but not a lot of, you're like, oh, we'd be so great together. And it just, like, in my experience, has always been the downfall of the relationship.
Yeah.
Like, I've certainly tried to stay friends with people after it, but it like never works out. And more and more, I'm like, that's Elena and Matt. Like, they should have never dated in the first place. And will they ever stop doing this weird dance? And I don't even know if Elena recognizes that she's just like sending him mixed signals, but it's messed up.
This was like making me so angry, because it really was just Elaine. Like, and maybe I don't think it was intentional, but she is kind of like lapping up the all attention on her in that moment, like when they're talking, and it is just like so flirty unnecessarily.
Yeah.
And then and it makes me just feel so bad because Caroline's just in the background, and I'm like, no, girl, she's the song. I don't like it. I don't like it. Elena, why? So don't make eyes at Matt, and like it, and then it's like very clear as soon as Stefan walks in, it's like
Matt doesn't exist.
The like Men in Black, like, what is it? The like what's it called? A nebulizer. Is that what it is? No, it's not. That's like that's what
I use when I'm having an asthma attack.
I don't know.
Whatever. But I know what you mean.
But you know what a neutral? I don't know what it is. Something.
Yeah.
But like but that's what it felt like. It's just like she completely just cuts out of the flirtatious moment and then immediately focuses back on Seven. So clearly she's not interested, Matt.
Right. And I'm so over Matt, like, glowering and staring daggers at Stefan. I mean, unless it's because he's in love with him,
and
he's yearning. But she broke up with you months before Stefan arrived.
Yeah.
So, like, get over it. It's not him.
No.
So we move into a scene that I really love, and I had to title this.
Love it.
I want to be with her and bite her and stuff. We're back at that mysterious warehouse with Damon and Logan. Logan has a bit of a heart-to-heart with Damon, and I just find it like both heartfelt and really comical.
Yeah.
And it's great delivery on both sides.
Oh, for sure.
So Logan's like, why am I so overly emotional? He can't stop thinking about his ex-girlfriend, Jenna. Damon responds that Logan was in love with her, and goes on to tell him that anything he felt as a human is now magnified as a vampire. And Damon's like, you have to learn to control it. Logan then asks how Damon can walk in the sun, saying that he knows that both Damon and Stefan can do that. We see Damon look at his daylight ring as Logan talks. Logan says since they can walk in the sun, the council will never suspect them because it's not in the journals. Damon perks up at this because he didn't know anything about the journals. Logan shares that the founding fathers wrote journals and passed them down to their kids. So think about the journal that Jeremy was reading from Jonathan Gilbert from the 1800s. Logan repeatedly asks how Damon can walk in the sun, to which Layman.
We got another one, folks. Layman.
It's their couple's name.
It's their couple name.
Or their bromance name. Sorry. Okay. So Damon keeps asking Logan, like, who turned you? So it's like, how can you walk in the sun? Who turned you? Back and forth, right? Pissed, Logan threatens to kill Damon, and Damon says that if he does that, he'll never know how he walks in the sun. Logan shoots Damon again and leaves.
Oh my gosh. It's great. It's pure comedy, really. It's just, I do really like them as scene partners because they definitely have a good back and forth. Like I just don't like Logan is the worst, and it is like, and it's clear that part of him has been amplified, and I believe that you have this that's why Logan is still
a huge douche.
So he is an amplified douchery is what I said to that. And you have a good observation if you would like to share.
So thinking about however you felt about a person or about something before you're turned into a vampire, do we think that part of Damon's continued 145-year-old obsession with Catherine is tied into the fact that he was in love with her before he was turned, and therefore that love was magnified when he became a vampire?
I think that's a really good call and like a very fair assumption to say. And like maybe that's even why that these like brothers are still so weird about Catherine. You know what I mean? Because it's like on both sides. I know that Stefan has kind of processed a little more of,
but maybe his is like amplified rage.
Yeah. So it's just it must have carried over, and that makes them a little like crazy when it comes to this woman. So I'm very interested in like the journals, and also I did not write this down here, but something that made me giggle a little bit is our friend Jen, her husband TJ, who's also our friend, TJ, hello, TJ calls like he's, for as long as we've all been like friends watching the show, because Jen and I used to watch when we were younger together. And TJ also watched too, and TJ would call it the journals, like the vampire journals. And so like when he says the journals, it just immediately made me think of the journals. So,
I love that.
The vampire journals.
Yes, I love that. And just the last thing, because we've been calling for a few episodes, we were calling Elena Nancy Drew. We were saying she was wearing her Nancy Drew hat, but Logan is our Nancy Drew in this episode.
1,000% Nancy Drew, just trying to find the trying to crack the case on vampirism.
Yeah.
Okay, so on to our next scene. We have the past and future colliding. We are at Mystic Falls High, and Elena surmises that Stefan is at the career fair to keep an eye on her, and he tells her he hopes that's okay. She walks away to look at some pamphlets, and he shares that when he was human, he wanted to be a doctor. She finishes his sentence saying that he couldn't because of the blood, and he tells her that he's dabbled in a lot of different things, and even though he loved him, he had to move on before he could do, before anyone could notice him, like, maybe excelling, I would say, is, like, excelling at anything or not getting older. And Elena asks how long that it would take for that to happen, and Stefan says usually a few years, and that he would have no choice but to leave. Stefan then eventually changes the subject, asking Elena what her future plans are, and upset, Elena says, "I don't want to talk about my future, Stefan, because everything you're saying is making it perfectly clear that you're not going to be in it."
Good delivery. I loved it.
And then, thank you. No. But no, she's just very upset. Well, Elena, be dramatic in this episode, I'm going to say. But Stefan tells her it's not because he doesn't want her in it. It's because, and then, she kind of like interrupts him and says like, it's because she's heard him the first time and the second time, and that if he was going to leave, then she wants him to go now. So she's just confused and upset. I mean, which I get.
We're confused and upset.
But I'm also confused and upset of her waffling for all these episodes. Jenna then interrupts and asks Elena to hide her because the Scumfell has landed.
I love that line.
And Stefan is alarmed by this and walks into the hallway where Logan is schmoozing as though nothing has happened.
What careers do we think Stefan Salvatore dabbled in?
Oh my gosh. I am so glad that you asked this. So, okay. Well, I mean, I'm going to guess that he probably did try, do you think that he tried being a doctor at all or no? I know he said he was interested in it as a human, but maybe not because of the blood.
I think maybe not with the blood, but I had put maybe veterinarian medicine.
That's
especially since, if he does consume blood, it is
he could
animals.
Snack on a little.
He could snack on a little something without killing it, maybe. But I feel like
don't snack on my cats, Stefan.
Or my dogs.
I don't want
but
that.
I feel like that could be a way. I mean, maybe it would still be too much blood.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I
That's
feel
a
like
thought.
teaching history feels like, I think, something.
He's good at dates.
He is very good at dates. Poet. I love that.
Professional broody guy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like trying to think of any. Maybe honestly though, like probably some. Well, I don't know. Maybe not, because sports is too like anything sporting related would be like a little too frontward facing if he doesn't want, if he wants to like fly under the radar. But I don't know. Yeah, he's hard to read.
Maybe he was a chef and he was making chicken parmesan
with the mozzarella.
Yeah.
Maybe actually, that feels. Because that's the thing where he's like in the back, like, because if you're a chef, like, you're not really being seen by that many. You're not being perceived by that many people.
Maybe he's a librarian.
Oh yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah,
but I don't know,
or
he
like
doesn't
manages.
strike me as someone that like loves to read.
What are you talking about? There's the whole Wuthering Heights.
I mean, I guess
His book collection.
But I feel like, I don't know. He still does. I mean, maybe. I mean, I feel like he's more of like a generative journaler than like or like a consistent. I mean, I'm sure he does read, obviously, but you know what I mean.
Maybe he's a yoga instructor.
Stefan is just
he's
our
a
guy.
mystery.
He's a mystery. I'm sure Lexi pulled him into some like fun, weird career stuff. Like she probably was like, "Hey, we should try to like
maybe they were like
skydive instructors
or like a singing."
Oh, wait, no, she wouldn't be able to do that because she would be not able to be out in the sun. But
night skydiving.
Or why did I just think of like being a person that like is like the little like gondola like rower? Why? That's such a random one.
I don't know.
Oh my god. Okay.
If you have ideas, please let us know.
Please let us know. Yeah. So I was like thinking about this though in terms of like their like with how long it would really feasibly take for someone to like really notice someone not aging. And I think there's more. He says a few years, but I think it's like longer than that. Like it's close. I would say closer to 8, in my opinion. I think so. Because and while there are subtle changes that happen with like people as people age, of course, but I feel like it would be plausible still, like with like an 8-ish span, especially if you're committed to like changing your hair.
Yeah, if you change your hairstyle, if you maybe put some silver streaks in it, like
yeah. Dwight said they should just get good at doing makeup.
Totally.
To like do some like older makeup, and I'm like, yeah, it's not too bad. That would be a way to get around it.
Yeah, I agree. 1000%. I was rolling my eyes at Elena for having never thought about their future until this moment. Obviously, like Bonnie is the one who first like plants that seed in her head.
Yeah.
But for months she has not. I mean, I guess she's only known for a few weeks, but like she's not.
How has this not crossed her mind?
Right. You are getting older by the second. He is not. You are older than he is just in terms of like 7, because he'll forever be 17 years old, right?
SMH Elena. And honestly, I'm also rolling my eyes because just her behavior in all of this is just kind of makes me really mad. But
well, she's a teenager.
What are
we gonna know?
Yeah, she's being quite a teen in this ep. So
our next scene, when I grow up, I want to be a day walker, which, you know, is obviously tied into the career fair, but also it's making me think of Pussycat Dolls. When I grow up, I want to be a day walker.
I love that.
We can work on that remix. We're at the career fair. Mr. Paul's High. Elena and Jenna follow Stefan into the hallway. Elena asks Stefan what's going on. Logan comes over asking Jenna if she's dodging him. Stefan then asks Elena to take Jenna somewhere else. And the first time I watched this, I was like, oh, she's clocking it. And then I was like, no, she lets me down. And she's really just like, something's up.
Yeah.
Which, okay,
for sure.
Fine. She and Jenna leave. Stefan asks Logan what he's doing there. And he says that Damon asked the same thing. He then tells Stefan he wants to know how to turn into a daywalker. He's like, I'm going to skip my first question, which makes me feel like he was doing what a good investigator would do. And like, you start with a question that's not as important, right?
Sure.
So you can kind of get a rapport going or knock down their defenses before you get it. But in this, he's like, no, I don't have time. Like, Tell me. Stefan says that he and Damon are the only 2 daywalkers that he knows of. Logan presses for more information. He then threatens Stefan, saying he's a celebrity in town and he could easily expose him. The ego on this dick.
This guy.
Stefan, all steely-faced, looking hot, tells him to never threaten him again and walks away. In a different part of the school, Elena questions Jenna about Logan's visit last night. When she tells Elena that he kept trying to get her to invite him in, realization finally dawns on Elena Gilbert. She tells Jenna to never talk to Logan again. Alaric then walks up saying he was hoping to see Jenna. Elena, sensing she's in good hands, excuses herself. Outside of the school, Stefan is on the phone with Damon. Damon says that when he finds Logan, he's going to destroy him limb by limb. Elena follows Stefan outside. Damon tells Stefan he was ambushed and shot. As they're talking on the phone, we move to the Salvatore boarding house where we get a partial ab shot of Damon as he's changing out of his bloody and ruined shirt. Stefan tells him Logan is at the school, and Damon says he'll be right there. Elena comes up to Stefan with her arms crossed in front of her chest and asks if there's anything he wants to share. We already talked about the fact that she did not connect these dots as quickly as I wanted. Disappointed.
Elena. But you know what? She did get there.
Yeah, she got there.
She got there in the end. She figured it out. And just in the midst of all of this kind of like dramatic stuff from the teens, and Logan just being a little like shark in the pool here, we've got Alaric just unabashedly like just coming over to Jenna to continue this mutually. Like they're both obviously very interested in each other, and it's just funny because it's like, guys, we've got so many other things going on right now. Yeah. But they honestly, both of them they don't necessarily know it, but Alaric, we'll see what happens with him. But yes. I do love that he is like into her though, because he just has just a good vibe. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad that there's actually at least one solid dude for Jenna out there, you know?
Yeah. Even if, maybe she shouldn't date.
Yeah,
her wards, her charges.
Her charges, her wards. Her
history
wards.
teacher. Their only teacher.
And Damon's really going through it. I mean, like, Damon's just really given us some like fun, because he's like a lot lighter in like this, like a little like unserious in a lot of ways, but I'm kind of loving it. And also he looks really hot when he's trying to like get himself together after being shot a bajillion times with the wooden bullets. So just looking good, Damon. Okay, next scene. Low blows. Mystic Falls High. Inside, Caroline brings her mom over to the broadcast journalism table, and Sheriff Forbes reacts by saying Caroline doesn't even read the paper, and Caroline walks off upset. Rude. We'll talk about it.
It's real fucked up.
Logan calls out the sheriff's name, and when she sees him, she reaches for her gun, and he taunts her, bringing up the faked email and him being buried in a shallow grave. She tells him she had no choice, and he calls her a bitch, saying that he died for her and for the town. He mentions that she's known him since he was 6, and that he was one of them being like someone on the council, and she tells him that now he's one of them, the vampires. So as he goes to walk away, he comes up super close behind her and tells her to watch her back. Sheriff Forbes calls in reinforcements, saying it's a V5. In a different area, Jeremy comes up to Tyler and tells him he didn't know he drew, and tries to like honestly genuinely bond with Tyler about art, and mentions it's another thing they have in common, and Tyler just stops him, inferring that Jeremy is referencing Vicky, and he makes a shitty comment about Jeremy making friends that Jeremy could make friends with one of the many other people who Vicky has slept with, which is just shitty on Tyler's part. And Jeremy shoves Tyler into a locker, and they start fighting. Alaric and the mayor break it up. Mayor Lockwood tells the boys to follow him outside, and Alaric, sensing there's something sus about this, asks where he's taking them, and the mayor just says he's going to talk to them outside so that they can like settle this like men and like a handshake or something like that. And outside, in a different area, like outside of a different part of the school, Caroline leaves Bonnie a voicemail saying she's ready to go and is waiting outside, and Logan pulls up in his car and asks if she needs a ride. We learn that that Logan used to babysit Caroline. Those are also I have questions. She says she was supposed to go home with Bonnie but can't find her, so she accepts his offer. And Matt notices Caroline getting into Logan's car, and Logan she tells Logan that this is fate because she wants to go into broadcast journalism, and asks if she can ask him a couple of questions, and he of course obliges. And as she's putting on her seatbelt, he slams her head into the passenger window, knocking her unconscious and leaving a smear of blood on the glass. And Logan drives away. Okay, there's a lot. Like, I feel like these scenes in this episode, just like as an aside, like they're like these scenes like are very packed with like just a lot of things going on in contained spaces, which is like a little different from our episodes that we're used to. So, so we got a few things to touch on. Sheriff Forbes. Why? Why is she doing this? How do you feel about this?
It makes me so sad because Caroline's so excited when she brings her up to show her, and that like her mom just immediately dismisses it. And I said to Alex as I was doing my final watch of this, I was like, this scene triggers me every time because it reminds me of being 16 or 17 years old, sitting in the car with my mom and telling her that I was going to major in English because as she already knew, because I've been saying since I was 8 that I wanted to be a writer, she was like, what do you think you're possibly going to be able to do, like, and make a living with an English degree? And it was so hurtful, but I fired back and said, and I actually left her speechless because I said, well, Mom, there's so much you can do with an English degree, right? I can be a writer. I can be a teacher. I can work in communications in some capacity. I can do social, like there were so many things I could do. And she was like, wow, you really thought about this. And I said, of course I did. Like, know who I am.
Yeah.
And my mom and I have a good relationship now. And she's very supportive of the bookstore and my writing and everything. But it's something I can never not think about. And this made me think about that. For anyone listening to this who maybe had a parent or someone important not support their dreams, I'm really sorry. That fucking sucks. And I believe in you. And also, if you are a parent, please support your kids and their dreams, no matter how dumb or impossible you think that they are, because I'm talking about something that happened 17 years ago and I am still upset about it. Yeah. Right?
Well, we were saying about how, like, kind of unjustly rude Caroline would be to her mom, but I'm like, all right, never mind. I take it back. I take it back.
I get it. I get it. Other things. Why has Liz only known Logan since he was 6? And what we're assuming is that she isn't, because we don't know what her maiden name is. But we can assume she married into the Forbes family. So we can assume she's not from there, which is even more interesting that she's a woman and she's sheriff.
Yeah.
If she's not, like, technically, like, she's an outsider.
Yeah, I wonder if it's because maybe that's where, like, maybe Caroline gets her, like, kind of like bold, fierce energy is, like, maybe from her mom, because, like, and her mom's very, like, driven, and I feel like Caroline's very much like that, which again, I feel like Caroline can do whatever she wants.
Yeah, absolutely. Imagining Logan babysitting Caroline, I cannot. And you have to share.
So just imagining Caroline being babysat by Logan, I am so certain that he was definitely making her breaded dino nuggets.
He was definitely making himself a plate too.
And he was, they were sharing it together, and maybe even throwing in some tater tots.
Yeah, what do you think his dipping sauce of choice would be?
Well, one of our lovely listeners definitely said maybe ketchup might be too spicy for him, and I was like, I love that so much.
So he just not use condiments?
It could. I don't know.
I feel like Tina wouldn't have
honey
been
mustard, or no? Is that too?
I feel like that's too spicy.
Ranch.
Yeah, ranch.
Maybe ranch.
Ranch. Definitely ranch.
Ranch. He's just like, but yeah, the idea of just like a young Logan, like, watching Caroline is just really funny to me.
It's just something else. And then Caroline, maybe give Bonnie another minute. Like, you just called her and said you were outside. Also, we don't see Bonnie at all the rest of the episode. We only see her in that initial scene with Elena, and I didn't clock that until watching the episode 3 times. So she's referenced in this scene, but we don't see her.
She's not there.
What the fuck?
Bonnie.
Also, folks, we got to stop leaving my girl Caroline alone, or at the very least, tell her what's going on so she can better protect herself and not get in cars with... He's not a stranger, but he's a strange man.
Yes, and poor Caroline. I just want to hug her.
I just want to hug her too. Moving into our next scene, this career fair is full of gut punches. We are still at the high school. Stefan and Elena are walking in the hallway. Elena sees Matt and asks if he's seen Logan Fells, the news guy. Matt says he saw him giving Caroline a ride home. Matt walks away. Stefan tells Elena to stay at the school. She watches him walk away, a look of concern on her face. Outside, Mayor Lockwood tells Tyler and Jeremy to fight to get this out of their system. More bad parenting.
Oh my God.
Tyler tells him he's not going to fight Jeremy. Jeremy says no too. Like the douchey cis white male he is, the mayor tells them to fight their battles like men and move on, not like pansies in front of everyone inside. He says his father taught him this lesson. The boys both say no again, and Tyler actually goes to leave when his dad shoves him. Alaric comes outside and interrupts, asking what's going on. Mayor Lockwood says he's trying to let the kids work it out and tells Rick to go back inside. Rick says no. He then asks again what's going on, and the mayor says to him, like, who do you think you're talking to? And Alaric says, you look like a full-grown alpha male douchebag. The mayor says he can't talk to him like that and threatens to get Mr. Saltzman fired. To which Rick tells him, like, basically go ahead. And if you do that, then it'll be you and me working things out in the parking lot. The mayor tells him that Alaric that he just like marked himself, but Rick doesn't seem too worried. With a look from his dad, no words, Tyler follows his father. When they've gone, Alaric asks Jeremy if he's okay. Jeremy nods, suppressing a smirk.
My goodness.
Another mini scene that's packed with a bunch of things.
Truly. Like, where do we want to start?
I guess we start with, what do we think Matt's reaction is to Caroline getting a ride home with Logan? Because in the previous scene, when we actually see him watch her get into the car, he does, at least to me, I was like, oh, he's concerned and he's going to go inside or like call her or something. But then he's like so nonchalant. He doesn't even seem like jealous. He's just like, oh yeah, she got a ride from him, and like walks away. And I'm like, what the fuck, Matt?
Yeah.
Do you care about Caroline? Even just as a friend?
Yeah. It's weird. And I guess maybe because it is someone like that, he technically is a friend of the family, of like the Forbes family. So I guess he was just kind of like, but it's also...
But Matt doesn't really seem to know him if Elena had to specifically say the news guy.
I'm so confused by like people knowing everyone and also knowing no one. Yeah.
I have no idea.
Because like people seem to know a lot about people and also simultaneously knowing literally nothing.
Yeah.
What is happening?
Okay. Now we got to talk about Mayor Lockwood.
What a piece of absolute dog shit.
Yeah. This is their mayor.
I just like cannot believe that like a mayor who is a public figure is egging two young men in a public space
when the whole town's clearly at this career fair.
And everyone's at their career fair. And it's just like, how does it even, like, why would, I just, as a person in office, like, why would that be your solution to whatever's going on between, you know, your son and another kid at school? That's just so weird to me. Yeah.
Thank goodness, like, Alaric clocks it and isn't afraid. And in my opinion, is man enough, right, to step in. We get to see some nods to what Tyler's home environment might look like, and this what seems like generational treatment of, in particular, the boys in the family. Bullies are usually folks who are bullied.
Yeah,
and, for sure. It certainly seems like Tyler's bullied and maybe physically abused by his
Yeah,
father.
and it's very clear. And you can not only just from that exchange, but also with the way that he like tells Alaric that he's marked. It just feels very just whatever. And then one other thing that I wanted to point out is that like as much as I loathe She Who Must Not Be Named, you know the one, the magical one, Mayor Lockwood and Tyler are like very much giving Lucius and Draco Malfoy in like the like when like they leave Jeremy and like Tyler's skulking away very much like a Draco exchange to me. It just kind of looked like that. I don't know why it popped into my head, but it did. All right, on to our next scene. Payback's a bitch, isn't it? And we are in Sheriff Forbes' car. Sheriff Forbes gets a call from Logan. He tells her he's going to turn Caroline into a vampire. He stops the car, the door opens, and he gets tossed onto the road by Stefan. Damon shoots him with wooden bullets as payback for earlier, and Damon tells Stefan to get Caroline out of there, and as he's leaving with her, Damon picks up Logan's phone and tells the sheriff Caroline is okay and where he is. After hanging up with her, he takes a tire iron from the trunk and asks Logan who turned him. And Logan says he doesn't know. And they go back and forth once more. And Damon's ready to kill him when Logan says, "You think you're the only one who wants to get into the tomb underneath the old church?" And Damon tells him if he's lying that he'll kill him. And Logan says there's another way to break the spell and that we, quote, we, who's we, can help you.
Lots of we's.
There's a lot of we people. They agreed to meet at Fell's church and sirens approach. Damon tells Logan to take him down, making sure that it looks real. So Logan throws Damon against the car as Sheriff Forbes walks up and she asks where Caroline is. Damon tells her that Stefan has taken her home, and then he apologizes, saying he wasn't strong enough to take Logan. My goodness.
I do love seeing the Salvatore brothers team up, though obviously Damon makes a really selfish and dangerous choice after his brother leaves.
He really does.
And doesn't clue his brother in on the shift.
No, not at all. But I do love that your vision for Stefan and Damon having their supernatural spinoff is materializing.
I'm here for it.
And yeah, Damon was doing actually so good in this episode until this moment, and he just took some more steps back.
Yeah. So moving to the next scene, which I love. Ugh. I'm not a stranger. No, I am yours. And it's song lyrics. We are still at Mystic Falls High. Stefan arrives back at the high school and finds Elena. Elena asks about Caroline, and he tells her he took Caroline home. I have no idea how much time has passed. Stefan's also doing this all by foot. We find out. He tells her all Caroline knows is that Logan attacked her and that Damon is dealing with him, and by that, killing him, or so he thinks. When Elena reaches for him, he pulls away and tells her that tonight is an example of why they can't be together. She's not having it, though, and she insists on giving him a ride home, which he reluctantly agrees. Outside of the school, Tyler sits at a picnic table. Jeremy comes up to him and tries to talk to him about his dad and what he has to go through at home. Tyler responds by punching him in the face. When Jeremy reasonably asks what his problem is, Tyler says he doesn't need his pity. Jeremy goes to leave and asks again what Tyler's problem is. Tyler backs away and answers honestly, saying that he doesn't know. Behind him, we see that it is a full moon. Upset, Tyler walks away. And we're going to talk about full moons in our folklore section as well this evening. Elena and Stefan arrive then at the Salvatore boarding house. Elena admits that she was harsh on Stefan earlier about leaving and shares that growing up, she didn't want to be a daywalker. She wanted to be a writer. But this was a dream that she shared with her mom. We learned that her mother was the person who bought Elena her first journal. And since her parents died, Elena can't see herself doing that anymore. She tells Stefan, I know that you think you put all this bad stuff into my life, but my life already had it. I was buried in it. He's clearly moved by this, and he tells her that, this is different. She insists it's just as painful. And he's like, I know it's hard to understand, but I'm doing this for you. And he gets out of the car and starts walking to the house. After a moment, like we see Elena sitting in the car and she gets this determined look on her face. And so she gets out and tells him that he doesn't get to walk away from her, that if he's walking away, he's going to do it for himself. She tells him she knows what she wants and that she loves him. So his back is to her in this moment, and very slowly he turns around and the song Cut, which is what the scene is a line from by Plum, starts to play, and he goes up and he kisses her. Then we move inside the Salvatore boarding house where we see them making out and starting to undress. Stefan's face turns all vampy and he literally turns away from Elena, but she tells him not to hide from her and urges him to turn back to face her, and she traces the veins under his eyes. They kiss some more, and then she leads him upstairs with a few more juicy makeout moments and sexy moments as they have sex for the first time. Damn.
Again, another big scene.
Huge scene. I have to say, from the music to just the choreography of it, it's all emotionally really hitting a note and feels like a really beautiful moment for who we are assuming with Elena is her first time having sex.
Yeah, because we still didn't really fully unpack that. She probably...
I really don't think she and Matt had sex. So
no, probably not.
But before we get to that, maybe we should talk a little bit about Tyler and Jeremy and their budding bromance or romance.
It's just like, I mean, I do like that Jeremy's trying to help Tyler, right? Like, I think that it's just nice that they're trying to, like, it's clear that Jeremy's just like, I don't know, like just trying a different approach with him at this point. And there is just a very suspicious gaze upon the moon. Yeah. The moon's very juicy.
Sure is.
So, I mean, I love a full moon shot, but it's lingering on there a little too long.
Yeah. It's winking at something for sure.
And, okay. So what kind of writing do we think that Elena's doing outside of journaling? Like, what do you think is her MO, like, for writing?
I think she just writes, like, essays.
Like, do you think that she's like a creative nonfiction girly?
I mean, in reality, yes. I actually don't think she's tried that hard. I feel I really get the read from her that she's going to be a writer and she just has a diary.
So kind of like when she can't, like she just kind of like gets.
She's like, I'm from a white affluent family in a small town. I'm going to be a writer.
Yeah.
And unlike Sheriff Forbes, her parents clearly, R.I.P., supported her dream.
That's true. That is true. Yeah.
I just feel like life obviously hasn't been easy for her in the last 6 months. But before that, it seems like in a lot of ways her life was and still is pretty charmed.
Yeah.
And because she's never really, besides loving Wuthering Heights, we've never really seen her show any interest in storytelling.
No.
So, yeah, I think she just writes in her journal and she thinks she's going to make it. I do. I'm sorry.
No, just Elena.
I don't think she has the grit that it takes to actually be a writer.
No.
And I say this as a writer.
I agree because I think you just like have to have, there's just a certain kind of, I don't know, just, there's a grit and not necessarily, I don't want to say like the reason I wanted to say like self-loathing, but it's not like self-loathing, but it's just like you just really have to just be in it for the love of the game because the game is hard.
Yeah.
And it feels like she's obviously, like you were saying, like been through rough stuff, but I don't know. And then she like can't even handle like a clear, concise, definitive decision on how she feels about her vampire boyfriend. And
she's
on and off again.
So investigating information. She's a
little slow to the uptake as well. She's not that,
and she doesn't like history.
I don't know. She's.
I don't know. I have no.
Not to be diminishing a young woman's dream, but she might need to workshop some stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I do really like seeing her so like bossy and commanding in this scene. I love that determined face she has when she gets out of the car and tells him that she loves him for the first time. And then I gotta say, Elena leading Stefan up to his bedroom as though she knows where that is. It gets me every time because she literally says in the next scene of them together, I've never been in your room.
It's really fucking funny.
I love seeing her take charge. But like, is
Where are
she
you
just
leading
like,
him?
this house is huge, girl?
I mean, maybe they're just like doing a little like sexy time.
Do you think he has
like,
a
around?
sign on the door that says Stefan's room?
Honestly, it feels like he could maybe have like some, I don't know, like a monogrammed like S.
Yeah.
Like just like a moody I don't know, like, you know what I mean, like one of those medieval looking something like with just like an S.
Maybe Damon got him a sign for his birthday that says like keep out brooding in progress.
Yeah, I mean, I think he would need
as an apology for killing his best friend on his birthday.
Just like keep out. Oh my God, I would love to see that. Yeah, it's genuinely hilarious that she's the one, but I do agree with you. I think her taking charge is great, and I do love a decisive queen, and she's being decisive in that moment. And also, did she like never get a house tour? I guess not.
She never asked for one.
No, I mean,
she really doesn't think of basic things that I would think of or ask about.
Well, I feel like even in an earlier episode, we literally were like, I love this house. I would want to like be all up
like,
everywhere.
Show me everything.
I would want to, I would want to see literally everything.
And we'll see how nosy she can be in just a couple scenes. And I'm like, girl, why aren't you like in the basement? Like Caroline's been in the basement. She was compelled, but like she's been in the basement.
Yeah, because I feel like Elena doesn't, for most of up until this point, doesn't make it farther than like the front door.
Right.
She really doesn't.
She really doesn't.
When you think about it, other than wherever they were where were they sitting with Vicky when the two, like the three of them were sitting?
First floor
they had been on the first floor somewhere. So anyway, one final thought on this scene is that Elena kissing Stefan's vampy face reminds me of like when Buffy is kissing Angel in his vamped out face in season 2 in What's My Line Part 1. But like his vampy face is like not even close to the Buffy face. Like it's a lot easier on the eyes. Like, so
yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, I definitely agree. I think this is much hotter vamp face, but I think actually in terms of my favorite vampire look, it is from TV. It is Buffy. I think they just did such an iconic, and also like dehumanizing face that they did that like separates them more from
because it's like they can be hot but they don't let you forget at all that they are demons.
Yes.
And so it's like I don't know, but I do like the TVD makeup's fun, but it was just like funny because he's like, don't look at me, and I'm like, you don't look bad at all. Like you don't look bad.
Well, it's like it makes me think of Edward Cullen stepping out, he's sparkling, and he's like so embarrassed, and she's like, you're beautiful.
It's like, come on, guys.
Yeah, Stefan, you're hot. You're fucking hot.
Yeah, you're hot in the vamp face. You're hot in your regular face. Edward also hot in his regular face and also sparkling, I guess. I mean, I don't really understand the sparkle thing, but like it doesn't really change. What are we doing?
Rainbow fish.
All right, on to our next scene. V is for Vampire Slayer. Yeah, Vampire Slayers. We love them. All right, we're back at the warehouse. Okay. Logan walks out of the warehouse heading to his car and metal clanks behind him and he turns. When he turns back, Alaric is there. Logan asks who he is and Rick tells him that he's a friend of Jenna's. Logan puts together that Rick is Jenna's new man. He tells Alaric that Alaric thinks that this makes him brave and that's actually making him stupid for like confronting Logan. And Logan asks what he wants, and Rick says that Jenna is a good person and that he's there to make sure she gets the best. Logan asks if he's threatening him, and Alaric tells him he's not a violent guy by design. Logan then makes a snide comment about him not being a very smart one either, and Rick says, "How's that?" And Logan turns away from him, preparing his vamp face, and
he's gotta prepare his face for camera.
I can't.
Camera ready.
He's got to be camera ready before he makes this attempted kill. And the camera pans down to Alaric's hand where he's holding a partially concealed stake, and we get another close-up of the family ring. Logan turns, saying he has no idea who he's talking to, and lunges all vampy at him, Alaric, and then Logan is dead. And Alaric seems a little freaked out and walks away, but he did successfully stake a vampire, so...
Instead of history teacher, should Alaric Saltzman title be Vampire Slayer?
I think so. I think he's missing his calling at the career fair. I don't think they had Vampire Slayer there, but they should.
They should in this town.
At this town.
They really should. Yeah, it's a short scene, but a lot happens, and there's a lot more to Mr. Saltzman than meets the eye.
Oh man, I'm just loving having him here. I can't wait to talk about him more in the episodes to come. So, all right. Next scene. Bromance, bitch act, and scandalous surprises. We are at Mystic Falls. We're really just like at Mystic Falls in the warehouse, I feel like, for basically this entire episode. I mean, and the Gilberts. Okay.
And that one pivotal scene at the Salvatore boarding house.
Oh, and the boarding house, yes, of course.
Can't forget about their sex.
Can't forget about the sex. But it's just funny because there's just like so much between these very like centralized locations. So outside, Tyler waits by Matt's car. Matt approaches Tyler and tells him he needs a ride, and Matt agrees. He then tells Tyler that he likes Caroline and he's not going to defend or apologize for it. Tyler says, okay. And Matt tells him to stop his little bromance bitch act. Tyler says, okay. And Matt walks over to the driver's side and gets in. Tyler heads for the passenger side. Like, their friendship's so weird.
So weird.
Okay. And meanwhile, at the Forbes house, Caroline sleeps in bed. Her mom strokes her hair. And I like that you wrote, at least it's not Damon. And her phone rings and she tells whomever called that she'll be right there. She looks at Caroline again before closing the door. At the Salvatore boarding house, Elena and Stefan snuggle post-coitus. She tells him she's never been in his room before, and he says that this is the one place that has remained constant for him, and his room holds every memory he's thought was important enough to remember. He asks her if she's okay and if she's thirsty. And she eventually says yeah. So he offers to get her something to drink. And while he's gone, she walks around the room looking at his stuff.
See, nosy.
That's nosy. That is nosy. She can't.
He's a vampire. He's gonna be back in 1 second.
Yeah. Like what? Okay. Elena, though I will say I would do the same thing.
Oh,
I'm
nosy, but I'd like wait until he's like in the shower or something.
Yeah, because like I mean I'm just
like Damon comes home and I have more time.
Yeah, because like I'm definitely one of those people, just not even in people's bedrooms, but just in general. Like I will look at your bookcases or your art or anything that you have in your home. Like I want to know what you're 100%. Reading. I want to know what kind of art inspires you that's hung up in your home. So I understand her being curious, but her curiosity went a little too far because she uncovers the photo of Catherine and leaves it on the table along with her frickin' necklace.
Mm-hmm.
In which we'll talk about in a minute, but in the woods, Damon gets a call from Sheriff Forbes thanking him for killing Logan, and obviously Damon's surprised by his death because he did not do it, and the sheriff tells him that she and the town owe him. Back at the Salvatore boarding house, Stefan comes back into his room with water. Ab count 6.
It's a great ab count.
Is it really only 6?
It's only 6.
Dang.
I know, I checked.
And Elena isn't there. Surprise, surprise. Stefan notices the picture of Catherine and the vervain necklace with Elena that he gave Elena on top of it. Upset, he picks up the necklace and then the picture. Elena, also upset, is driving down a country road.
They gotta stop going down these country roads.
I know. It's like they have like sprawling, it's like they're like a concentrated downtown area, and then it's like these just sprawling country roads, which I mean, I guess that maybe is how it is down there. I don't know. Because I haven't spent a lot of time down that way, but she's obviously very upset, but there's a figure standing in the road and she tries to brake but still ends up hitting the person. Her car flips over, hanging upside down in the totaled car. Elena watches as the figure's limbs like animate in a very unnatural way to kind of like get back into place, and the figure approaches her and she screams. Okay. That's literally our episode.
That's literally where the
That's
episode
the end.
ends.
What a cliffhanger for our mid-season finale.
Truly.
We'll talk about that more later in our final thoughts.
Yes.
But what do we think about this scene right now?
To take it back to Tyler and Matt talking, I am so glad that Matt is just I like Caroline. Especially, in the final scene of last episode, he was like, I've never liked you. And I just felt badly for you. I was like, ugh. So yay. And I like that Tyler's just okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Stefan, I know you didn't think Elena was going to come over and you were going to bang, but maybe don't just leave Catherine's photo out. Also, more important question, who lit all the candles in his room for this very sexy vibe? She also smells a candle that I can guarantee has no scent. Because it's just a tall pillar.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, it has no, for sure not.
Do you think Uncle, Nephew, Cousin Zach's ghost lit all the candles for him, and that maybe that's what happens to all the human Salvatores? They become ghost servants for the brothers.
I'm living for this headcanon. I'm living for what this is because, honestly, I think that's, what we can hope the most for Uncle, Cousin, Nephew. Because, gone but never forgotten. And he's like...
Maybe they still let him mow the lawn. I don't know. I don't know what the ghost rules are in this world.
I mean, we're not sure.
We've only seen one ghost, and it was through possession.
Yeah, and, but, I mean, he's basically... He could be like Casper, but more sad, and hates his family who are immortal vampires, so...
I love that. I love Casper.
Maybe not as friendly, but... Yeah, so... What do we think about Elena just willy-nilly leaving this vervain necklace once again? I can't believe these people, especially her. So, let's talk about it. With her leaving her one thing that she had.
She's an idiot. That's my final comment. No, seriously, she is an idiot because I understand it's this symbolic gesture of their relationship and everything that entails, right? And she did presumably just lose her virginity, right? She's emotional. I get it. But girl, you know about vampires and witches and a single ghost. Maybe keep the necklace so you can protect yourself because clearly you need it. You need it.
I just
and
why?
Also, as a person who has all of this trauma around car accidents, wouldn't you not drive when you're upset like that?
Yeah, and it's just, I mean, I don't understand why she just, I don't know. We'll probably unpack this a little bit more in our final thoughts, but it's just some dumb stuff from her.
Yeah.
Really. And
also, this is just, I think, how she processes things. She just flees.
Yeah. And it's Elena, I mean, I know you're a high school girl and you're just a girl.
If you're mature enough to let him put his undead dick inside of you, then maybe you should be mature enough to have a conversation
about why you look like his ex-girlfriend.
His starving ex-girlfriend who's a vampire and they dated 145 years ago and is locked in a tomb in your town.
Yeah. And also,
I have questions.
Yeah. And I feel like this episode is the I have questions episode. I mean, we always have questions, but this one we have questions.
And we have one more question, which is who is the figure?
Who is the figure?
And what is the figure?
And what is the figure?
That shit ain't human.
Well, not human and also not Logan because he's dead. So we're if we're doing
he is diggity dead.
If we're doing the vampire math or I mean, I don't know. We haven't come across any other mythical creatures yet, but if Logan's dead, then Damon and Stefan are the only two other vampires we know of right now, active vampires, other than the ones in the tomb.
We do know that Logan used a we.
He did,
right?
Oh, yeah,
so there are some we
that's
people,
true.
Vampires, etc. But we don't know anything more.
That's true.
We don't know anything more about them.
Don't know, but you know what? We will unpack that in a later time, and what we will do right now is move on to folklore. All right, let's get into some folklore. So, in our episode this week, we saw some glimpses into Elena and Jeremy's ancestor, Jonathan Gilbert's journal. And in this journal, we see an etching of a pagan deity, Baphomet. So, our first little folkloric interlude here is going to be about Baphomet. And then later, Christina's going to talk to us a little bit about some full moons. I will preface before I go into more of Baphomet, these are not things that are, directly impacting the episode, but they are just things we've noticed and we wanted to expand upon in our folklore section. So, okay. Baphomet. So, according to Wikipedia, Baphomet is a figure rooted in the occult and Western esoteric traditions. The name first emerged in the 14th century during the trials of the Knights of Templar, when the order was accused of heresy for worshiping Baphomet as a demonic idol. Baphomet was reimagined in the 19th century by 19th century occultists amid renewed debate over the suppression of the Templars. The modern popular image of Baphomet was established by, and I do apologize in advance for probably butchering this name, Eliphas Levi? I mean, I don't know where these accent marks are on their name, but I'm going that Levi. I hope we'll see. We'll see, hopefully. Sorry. In his 1856 work, Dogme et Rituel de la Haute Magie.
Also perfectly.
Also great pronunciation. Sometimes you look it up and sometimes you just realize that you didn't look it up before recording, and that's okay. All right. So this artist's sabbatic goat illustration depicts a winged androgynous human goat hybrid, a deliberate synthesis of binary opposites designed to represent the concept of perfect equilibrium. This Baphomet is a recurring symbol of occultism, widely adapted to represent the reconciliation of opposites, esoteric knowledge, and the summation of the universe.
Super interesting.
Super interesting. Yeah, I feel like even though we as witches obviously know of Baphomet, but never really looked too deep into Baphomet. You know what I mean? So here are just some quick facts, facts / folkloric facts. Whenever I think about saying facts and folklore, I'm there are facts around folklore, but not all folklore are facts. I feel that's the way. So if we use those kind of terms interchangeably, that feels right. Okay, so Baphomet. The hand symbols that Baphomet usually has with the two fingers pointing upward and two downward, which we do actually see some of the etchings of that in the journal entry. It might not be a perfect thing, and there might be some other stuff going on in there, but it does look very similar. So this signifies the magical meaning of as within, so without, as above, so below, as the universe, so the soul, from Hermetic philosophy, which generally means that we're all interconnected. And that kind of speaks to what, in the Wikipedia article was saying, just sort of this perfect equilibrium, right? I don't know if you have anything to add on as above, so below. I feel like we say that a lot in witchcraft, but yeah, so that's where those are those hand gestures. So then, British occultist Aleister Crowley also adopted Baphomet, notably in his Gnostic Mass. Okay, Aleister Crowley,
problematic
weirdo. Just if you're gonna look into that man, he's a problematic weirdo. Just letting you know. Okay, and then more recently, the Satanic Temple commissioned a statue of Baphomet, which was unveiled in 2015 and moved to various places as a protest against the displays of Ten Commandments of Ten Commandment monuments in public spaces. I love this. No, it's great. No, this is beautiful. So yeah. So just to kind of briefly, I mean, I'm not an expert on the church, because it's the Church of Satan, right? In Satanism. It was for the purposes of our folklore today, that could be its whole other episode. So we were kind of, so I didn't want to open the the can too far because that would just require a lot more time. But we love our Satanist friends. They are amazing, and so like just
and the Satanic Temple does so much amazing
social
community work.
Yeah, community and social justice work. So like, I mean, so if you were ever somebody that was like being like, oh no, Satanists are bad. I mean, like this particular group, like they are doing some really cool, interesting stuff, and I would very much recommend you looking into them before having any preconceived notions about that. I know that they can sometimes have not they, but like just the idea of Satanism is like has obviously negative connotations. So definitely check it out. But there's also something really great is that the Satanic Temple created a wonderful children's book called Goodnight Baphomet that a novel idea does carry, and you should check it out if you have like a little one and are like pro pagan occultism and
the little
Baphomet.
Baphomet is so cute. It's a very cute story.
I know I've seen it in the shop and it is genuinely adorable. So and I love that because they are like an organization I feel like that really does just like reclaim and like challenges preconceived notion
Absolutely.
of people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I love that. Okay, so now just to kind of bring it to something that I do know a little bit more about is like, so in tarot, Baphomet appears on the devil card with 2 chained figures, which if you like are ever looking at like the Smith-Waite deck in tarot, those like 2 figures could be like the people in the love, like they are kind of similar to the people that are in the Lovers card.
I always say it's a bastardization of the Lovers.
Yeah, so there is this like kind of, they have like a relationship, those 2 cards, but for the actual like meaning of the devil card, it carries certain themes of like materialism, addiction, the shadow self, things that hold us back are being chained to old cycles and patterns that we might want to break free from. It's just like it's reminding us of that. And so the way that I always look at it, especially, and it will the context will change, I feel like because tarot cards, or at least the way that I always say it, is tarot cards like have their meanings, but then really when you're doing a full tarot reading, it's gonna the meaning of it's gonna shift based on what other cards are in play as well. So this is just sort of like more higher level, like those themes that I brought up just now. Whenever I see this card, and I have pulled it for myself, I've actually been I'll say that in a minute. But when I see this card, I don't necessarily see it as a bad thing in a reading. It's more a call to like address these imbalances or stuck points in our lives. I just think that that's just something to keep in mind, because I know that we have in tarot, we call them, like, people say like the scary cards, and honestly, none of the tarot cards are scary. We both always kind of say that it's just not. That's just, I mean, they're energies to pay attention to.
Absolutely. So what were you going to say about when you pull it?
So what I was going to say is, well, no, that's what, so when I pull it, I'm just like, I don't think of it as like a negative. I'm not like, it's more, if I'm pulling it for myself, I'm like, I need to check myself and check what's going on. But what I was going to say is that I actually was Christina a few years ago for their birthday, had a tarot party, and I did dress up as the devil card.
Because we loved a theme party.
Yeah, as you learned in a previous episode when we covered the Halloween episode, we love a theme party, and yes, I'll try to see if I can find a picture of us from your birthday, which I know we definitely have.
We definitely have photos, yeah. I was the high priestess.
So, yay, which I feel like kind of goes nicely into some moon talk. So do you want to take it away?
Does. Yes. So the second half of our folklore this evening is looking at full moons, and specifically the superstitions and folklore around the moon connecting to lunacy, to violence, to all kinds of mayhem. So obviously, we get that very juicy full moon moment towards the end of the episode. We see it behind Tyler when he is having introspection about why he is the way he is, why he's so quick to throw a punch, right? So why not explore this? So superstitions about the moon are well documented, right? Many people believe it influences human behavior, fate, and the natural world. According to myth folks, full moons have long been linked to erratic behavior. The word lunatic comes from the Latin word luna, moon, right? Reflecting the ancient belief that the moon could cause madness. Some also claimed it disturbed sleep or increased violence. Interesting, very interesting. And then we get into some kind of weird but cool scientific thoughts that have been debunked, but they're still cool. According to Scientific American, the Greek philosopher Aristotle and Roman historian Pliny the Elder.
Pliny the Elder, back
yes,
again.
he's back again.
Wait, sorry, just very brief aside, did you know that Pliny the Elder is like apparently a very sought after beer? Ask Alex about this. And
I feel like Alex has drank it. So.
Yeah, Jen was telling me about this the other day, and I was like, I couldn't be me that knew because I can't drink beer.
And I don't like beer, so.
But yeah, so Pliny, always with us.
Love it. So Buds, Aristotle, and Pliny the Elder suggested that the brain was, and this word, I hate this word, the moistest organ in the body and thereby the most susceptible to, as they phrased it, pernicious influences of the moon. The moon triggers tides, right? In terms of what actually happens in the natural world. Belief in the lunacy effect or the Transylvania effect, right? That ties into, right? Talking about vampires, are two different terms used for it. This persisted in Europe throughout the Middle Ages, and we will not go into it in this episode today, but full moons.
Well, there were some full moons earlier in this episode.
Woo, they sure were. But full moons are also tied to stories of transformation. To get a little bit deeper into some of the science stuff, and this is more contemporary, Miami psychiatrist Arnold Lieber argued that the full moons, or was trying to figure out if the full moon's supposed effects on behavior came from its influence on water. Mm-hmm. Because the human body is about 80% of water, the thought was perhaps the moon works its mischievous magic by somehow disrupting the alignment of water molecules in the nervous system. Even today, many people think that the mystical powers of the full moon induce erratic behavior, psychiatric hospital admissions, suicides, homicides, emergency room calls, traffic accidents, fights at professional hockey games, dog bites, and all manner of strange events. I found this survey that revealed that 45% of college students believe, and I think this was in the last 20 years, I'm not sure exactly how current this is, believe moonstruck humans. I'd be a moonstruck human.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Moonstruck humans are prone to unusual behaviors, and other surveys suggest that mental health professionals may be more likely than the average person to hold this conviction. In 2007, several police departments in the United Kingdom even added additional officers on full moon nights in an effort to cope with presumed higher crime rates. However, the gravitational effects of the moon are far too small to generate any meaningful effects on brain activity, let alone behavior. The moon's gravitational force affects only open bodies of water, like oceans and lakes. We are not open bodies of water. So this does not apply to contained sources of water, such as the human brain. And the gravitational effect of the moon is just as potent during a new moon as a full moon, right? Mm-hmm. During different cycles. So there also isn't substantial evidence or proof that crime rates or incidents tend to take place more often during full moons. So there's a lot of conjecture, but not a lot of proof.
Yeah.
because we are witches, of course, we have to mention them. There are witches in the world that we're working in with the Vampire Diaries. In folklore, witches have a long-standing relationship with the moon. Witches were said to gather and cast spells when the moon was full, because the belief is that it enhances workings. For pagans like Brenna and myself, each moon phase has its own association because we try to work in tandem with the natural cycles of the earth and of the planets and the stars and all of those things, the seasons. And so each moon phase has its own association, and the full moon is often seen as a potent moment for manifestation, personal growth, transformation, and divination. This isn't specifically tied into witchcraft, but I just think this is kind of sweet. And I believe it in that I'm someone who believes pretty much anything, but some believe that wishes made under a full moon have a higher chance of coming true.
Oh.
Right? How sweet is that? So to kind of take all of this information that we've talked about, all of this lore with some debunked scientific fact, do we think the full moon is making Tyler even more of a dick than usual? The answer is probably not. If anything, and I did this play on words on purpose, it's helping illuminate some necessary inner work and personal transformation for him.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I know you learned something, right?
I love all the like debunk. I love stuff like this. This is so fun. Oh my gosh, we haven't done like a split.
I know we've been taking them on together a lot lately.
Yeah,
so
because there's been topics that are kind of big that we've been just covering, but this was fun. Yay.
So now that we've done our deep dive, we've talked through our folklore, let's look at our hot takes and final thoughts.
Sounds great.
So, all right, where to begin, right? This is a very juicy episode. So much has happened. You're going to see my final thoughts are kind of all over the place in terms of when they take place in the episode, but it's the way my brain was working.
Okay, that's okay.
Okay, first and foremost, Elena, girl. I have no idea what I would do if I found out my boyfriend's ex-girlfriend from 145 years ago looked like my twin. As we talked about earlier, I don't think I would just leave.
Yeah.
Because I would need to know.
No.
I also feel like I'd probably take the picture with me.
Yeah. Why not?
Be like, what is this? You know? And yeah. So I don't know what I would do in that situation. But I don't think I'd react the way she did.
No, especially not taking off your gosh dang necklace that helps keep vampires out. Keeping vampires out of your brain.
Keeping Damon out of your brain.
I mean, never mind.
She does not want Damon in her brain.
No.
At this time.
No, Damon's not doing a good job of being in people's brains at this time, so no.
My next thought. There's not nearly enough Bonnie in this episode. As we talked about, she's literally only in one scene, and she basically just exists to see how Elena's doing, say how she's doing, and say that she thinks Caroline and Matt hanging out is a good idea. That's it. That is literally it, and it's not enough.
No.
Especially when we're starting to get so much more of her.
Yeah.
So it feels like a really missed opportunity.
Yeah. Like, where's our girl?
Where's our girl?
Where was her at the career?
Right. I mean, she had to be there, right? Because she was Caroline's ride.
Yeah. Just no Bonnie.
Just no Bonnie. And like, I want to know what she's interested in career-wise.
I hope that she wants to become an occult professor just like her Grams.
I hope so. So there better be more Bonnie after this mid-season break, right?
Bring Bonnie back.
Speaking of our other girly pop, I am so over Caroline being a damsel in distress. I mean, Logan Scumfell even calls her a damsel in distress in this episode right before he literally knocks her out and puts her in physical peril.
Yeah, which also, like, bloody physical peril. Like, that was intense. Like, the blood, like, that was a
Protect
lot.
her face. She wants to be on the news.
I know, right? Ugh,
Don't get blood in that hair.
exactly. Yeah,
Rude.
that hair is beautiful and blonde. She's gonna that hair. She's gonna need to, like, if she has like that blonde or the blood in her hair for too long, she's gonna need to do some special hair care to get that taken care of. I mean, I know she'll do it, but
I know we can trust she will do it. But yeah, I just really want to give, like, the writers, to give this feisty babe some much needed agency.
yeah,
Because I'm really tired of her being in these positions of just like, I mean, she's literally unconscious and needs to be saved. Right?
it's not fair.
So often she's losing consciousness.
Yeah, that well, and it's not a good look, and
Or she's crying.
I'm hoping that part 2 of season 1 turns it around for her. You know,
I really hope so. And like, I'm sorry. I understand. I know no one fucking likes Sheriff Forbes in this episode, but I understand that she's a sheriff and she has responsibilities. Your daughter was just kidnapped by a vampire and could have died.
Yep.
Whether she became a vampire or not, she could have died. And sure, you lovingly stroke her face, but then you get a call and you're like, yep, I'll be right there. No, that's when you're like, hey, deputies who know about vampires, I'm sorry, but like, I can't come. Or let me call Matt or someone else and ask if they'll just be like, hey, Caroline had a rough night. Call fucking Stefan.
Yeah.
Because he brought her home, and be like, I don't want her to be alone.
Exactly.
There's poor
also,
parenting.
if she's like concussed, which she most certainly is.
She's 1000% concussed.
So she needs to be watched.
She needs to be watched. So I have thoughts. We haven't found out who did turn Logan, right? Who turned him? How does he know about the tomb full of vampires? Who or what else knows about the tomb and Mystic Falls' resident vampire brothers? Are our boys safe?
I'm not sure. But you know what's also like, so do you feel like Logan with this, when him and Damon were doing a lot of their like back and forth thing?
They're bonding?
They're bonding.
They were torture bonding?
They were torture bonding. But like, do you feel like he was like deliberately obscuring information from them the whole time, or like there were just genuine questions that he had, so whoever his like potential vampire other compatriot is not the one like giving him DL? Like, it seemed like he had a lot of questions, so I'm curious to know like what's that about, because it did seem like he was confused about things, but then also wasn't confused about other things,
right? And if someone told him all of this stuff, background about the Salvatore brothers in the tomb, why wouldn't they tell him who turned him?
Yeah.
I think it could honestly be inconsistent writing.
Also,
that's a real thing I thought about, because it feels very out of left field. I do feel like when he approaches Stefan at the career fair and is like, I'm gonna skip to the question I really want. And I'm like, okay, so maybe with Damon, he is genuinely curious about who turned him, stuff like that. He clearly didn't know how turning a vampire happened, etc. But he has an end goal, and his end goal is his survival, because he's a rat, and rats know how to survive, right?
That's right.
And so he is like, yes, it'd be great to know who turned me, but like that doesn't matter because I've been turned.
Yeah.
So like problem solving, how do I become a daywalker, right? That's what he wants at the career fair for his future. So in that way, I feel like there was some there obviously was strategy. Like he basically tried to lure one or both of the brothers to the warehouse, had the wooden bullets, this was his lair, if you will. But it also seemed like a lot he had not thought through.
Yeah, just a lot. Sloppy, as Stefan said.
And I think it's part of like he, as a human and now as a vampire, is very cocky.
Yes.
Right.
And he was already kind of...
Right. He was already cocky, but like this amplified it. Yeah. And like because of his celebrity status, I think thinks he's untouchable.
I agree. Scumfell.
So.
Well, he's gone now.
All right. This is a funny one. So some of these are just questions. So 2 of our most problematic and most loathed men have died. Logan Scumfell and Mr. Tanner. Who do we think was worse? I want to know your thought before I answer.
I think I'm gonna still go with Mr. Tanner. And the reason being because he was just like picking on children, like picking on children, and like Logan's at least picking on people that are on his level, if that makes sense.
Reporting on children,
but reporting on case. That's true. And I mean, he does like obviously do what he does to Caroline, but at least like the main people he's confronting are adults for the most part. Whether they are trapped in younger people's body is another thing, but he's like playing an adult game. And and I feel like Mr. Tanner was like playing a high school game. Yeah. So,
yeah. No, I think
no pun intended for playing a game.
Yeah, I think that's super valid. I'm actually going to go the other direction. Okay. I think that I think Logan is worse, and I do feel like I'm going out on a limb saying that because like Mr. Tanner is like he's literal the worst. But I feel like Logan tries to cloak his shittiness. Yeah. Right? Like he hides behind his shit-eating smile, his reporter pizzazz. I don't find him good looking, but like I understand he's a totally fine looking human. Yeah, for sure. And Mr. Tanner, I feel like on the other hand, is just like literally openly shitty. Yep. Right? And like I have the tiniest modicum of respect for that because he just is like, fuck you.
That's fair.
Right? Yeah. Like he's shitty to Jenna. He's shitty to Tyler. He's shitty to Elena. He's shitty to Stefan.
He's an equal opportunity shitty guy.
He just shits on everyone. And like, he has a fucking jackass file, right? Like Logan is too busy smiling and trying to schmooze. And then meanwhile is, stabbing you in the back like he's done to Jenna. And also we know he cheated on Jenna. So like he's trash. But like I still hate Mr. Tanner. But we talked about this off camera.
Oh, yeah, we did.
But I do also am having this weird personal turmoil because the actor Benjamin Ayres, I think is how you say his name, who played Mr. Tanner, is now like I think he's kind of hot. He's playing a cowboy in this Hallmark movie TV show. I think it's a TV show called Hope Valley. And he's starring opposite of someone from One Tree Hill.
Oh my gosh.
And like, I randomly saw an interview of it on our, like, cause everything we get on our Instagram is like vampire related CW stuff. And I saw it and I sent it to Brenna and I was like, wait a minute.
It's kind of.
Is Mr. Tanner hot? And like, is it working for him? He's got the stubble and the hat and like, I don't know. I had to come clean and just say, I think I don't find him attractive as Mr. Tanner, but like, however many years later, I'm like, 15 years later, I'm like, okay, bro.
I'm so glad you came clean to all of us. Thank you for.
It's been weighing on me. All right. My last thoughts now that all of my secrets have come out. So this episode obviously ends on a real cliffhanger. And we've talked about it's the season 1 mid-season finale. So it's really dramatic in the context of viewers in 2009 having to wait 2 months for that information. And like, think about all of this, all of the things that are hanging in the balance. What happened to Elena? What's going to happen to Stefan and Elena? What's going to happen with Alaric's budding vampire hunting career? Will Matt and Caroline become we people? What is happening with Damon's dastardly plan? And are Jeremy and Tyler having a budding bromance and or romance?
I acted out every single thing that he said.
I can't wait to watch this because I saw you just kind of like, I was like, is she voguing? But like, there's so many things. Oh, and like, who's the figure? And who turned Logan? Like, I have...
Yeah.
And who else knows about the vampire team? Like, so many questions.
I really think that in this week's No Context, we must include a I have questions slide.
Yeah.
Because it's important.
Have to. So tell me your hot takes, final thoughts, Brenna.
I'm here to give some takes. I don't know. I just like it's getting late. It's at that time. Whenever
you're on fire.
When we record like certain days, like depending on how late we're going, we just like sometimes it just gets like loopy hour. All right, so here are some takes for you. All right, I now understand. Like I said earlier, I now understand why Caroline doesn't like her mom. Also, teenagers are in such an exploratory phase, like at this point in their lives. Like, why are we trying to tell people that they can't do things? That bothers me, especially even, and we've talked about this even in previous episodes where like people are telling Caroline that she's not that deep, or like Matt telling her that she's not that deep, and it's like
she's a kiddie pool.
But it's like, come on, like don't, especially as an adult, like don't, like if you're an adult, like, and you are especially like a parent of a child, like why are we trying to put people in boxes? Everyone can try to explore what they want.
Absolutely.
Even though we did come for Elena and her writing. Sorry.
We just tell the truth as we see
Not
it.
the last time I'm going to be talking about Elena and my hot takes. Okay, so as we know, Caroline is a cosmetology star in our hearts. But I do appreciate her being a forward-thinking woman and wanting to diversify her income streams. It is 2009 in Mystic Falls at the time of the show, and the next 15 years are rough economically. So, you know what, sister, get your bag. Do your broadcast journalism and do your hair, because you know what? You're going to need both.
Well, she's going to need to know how to do her hair really well because she's going to be on TV all the time.
She's going to be on TV all the time. Makes sense to me.
Smart investment.
Honestly. All right. Elena and Stefan are really constantly, they're like on and off again thing for these last 10 episodes is truly just like, why? Like, why? Like, I don't know. I know it's very teen drama and it's annoying, but I'm also glad that they fucked. That's all I gotta say about that. I'm just glad. I'm like, finally, just cut some of the tension here. Finally. Thank you. And then, also, while we're on the Catherine of it all, why did Elena, like to your point, why did Elena just leave? Like, I understand being freaked out, but I would also want to, like, stay and be like, what the, like, I would literally, like, if this was me, and, because, again, we already know Stefan's safe, right? Like, he is not going to hurt her. So, like,
right.
What is stopping you from not being like, what the fuck is this?
Also, leave the necklace on so he can't compel you.
Yeah, exactly. To forget, like, no. I just think that that's, like, I would have so many questions. And not even just, like, yes, is it freaky that my boyfriend's ex-girlfriend looks exactly like me? Yes. Is it weird that we just had sex and is he thinking about his ex who also looks like me? Yes, that is weird.
Do my boobs look exactly like Catherine's?
Well,
who knows?
Like, that's weird. It is. But I feel like I would want to know what Stefan knows about the reason why I look exactly like his undead, entombed, desiccated ex-girlfriend. I would just want to know. Yeah. I would want to know.
Same.
And okay, so this is an observation, if you will, from these last 10 episodes. What the fuck is with vampires and getting in people's personal spaces and hair stroking, whispering in ears? It is genuinely insane to me because it happens all the time. Like, I know we've seen this a lot with Damon over like the beginning episodes.
Inappropriate face and hair stroking.
Very inappropriate face and hair stroking.
Always this close to everyone, including his own brother.
Too close. Too close. But also, like, Logan, and I didn't bring it up earlier because I wanted to bring it up here, but when Logan's talking to Sheriff Forbes, he's also, like, doing a weird in her ear.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
She's known you since you were 6.
Yeah, you used to make microwave breaded chicken nuggets for her daughter.
Like, you're
and
her daughter's babysitter. What the fuck?
He's a terrible babysitter.
Horrible babysitter.
He'd leave that baby in the car on a hot day.
Absolutely. I mean, he just boinked her head on the driving.
He doesn't care about her future.
No.
Sweet, earnest Caroline was genuinely like, wait, this is fate. Can you answer my questions about broadcast journalism?
Bonk. I'm like, what is this? Oh, man. So, something I didn't write down, but something that I did think of in my most recent watch is when Tyler punches Jeremy, like, Jeremy really takes that punch, like, and doesn't really flinch. I mean, do you know what like, cause he really just gets him, but Jeremy's just kind of like withstands the blow. Like, really, like, I don't know.
Interesting.
And it, like, is that a thing? I don't know. Like, he just does.
I don't know. I didn't particularly clock that while he was being clocked.
But yeah, it's just notable because it also reminded me of just in the past episode when Vicky was transitioning, when he gets and even in the Halloween episode where he just gets like thrown by Vicky. Mm-hmm. So
sure does.
But he took Tyler's punch. So
yeah, he did.
And then I do. Like, I mean, you kind of like talked about it on your like the overview of just, I do think that this was like such a good mid-season. Mm-hmm. It really leaves everybody wanting more because it just has I guess it does feel because the episode's called The Turning Point, and it does feel like a turning point because I mean, I feel like we're just in for like not necessarily a different show moving forward, but just all that's happened. Like, it just feels like these first 10 episodes were really them like warming it up and we've every week we're like, oh my gosh, and more and more and more. But it really is just like the scene is now set, and I just feel like these last like the latter half of the season is just really gonna be the like go stuff, right? I also would like to know who the figure is, and we did, like you had said, talk about it. We've talked about it earlier, of what potentially like what it could be, but one thing we would like to share, actually, at the end of our hot takes and final thoughts is, we are actually going to, not in this episode because we already have talked for too long and we can't do it because our episodes are already long, but we are going to start moving forward doing a second shorter episode each week talking about like speculations and spoilers. Mm-hmm. And with that in mind, because I've said it before on the podcast, but I have not watched the show. Like I'm not somebody that like rewatches it every fall or like, and I know a lot of people do that. I still love the show a lot. But like, it's just not, I haven't done that. And I think, but there's actually something fun about like still knowing what happens in the show and like trying to like guess or remember what happens next. And I know Christina's seen at least like the first 5 seasons.
A bunch of times.
But like, so I think it might, we were thinking that it might be some fun chat to like just talk about things with a little more context with things that I do remember, but also kind of like trying to be like, I remember this thing. Like, is it fitting there? And is this what's coming up in this? So if you're into that, definitely tune in later on in the week when we start having those episodes drop. They'll be their own separate episodes, and
they will have spoilers. So if you do not want spoilers, maybe skip them.
Yeah, if you are someone that does, exactly. If you're someone that does not want the spoilers.
But if you're someone who's seen the show before, you don't care about spoilers, and you maybe want a little bit more of that speculation that you're not seeing in our full episodes, our regular episodes. We hope that you'll enjoy these.
Yeah, we're trying to give everybody a little bit of the razzle dazzle, a little bit of spoilers, a little bit of just
everybody a little bit of something to bite into.
A little something to bite into. That's perfect. So.
Finger guns.
A little bit of something to bite into. But all right. So, favorite lines from the episode? Would you like to go, Christina?
Sure. Why am I so overly emotional? All I can think about is my ex-girlfriend. I want to be with her. and bite her and stuff.
I love it.
From Logan Scumfell to
Logan.
Damon during their heart-to-heart.
Gosh, dang it.
I just love it. And it, like, Alex laughed hearing it today. And I was like, yeah, it's just the, like, I want to be with her and bite her and stuff. Like, it's just,
it's like
and he's so earnest in the way he says it as a person who I don't think is often earnest.
It's so true. And he's, like, truly grappling with it. He's like, oh, like, I want to eat her and I want to bite her and stuff. It's like,
he's like, dude. I probably want to snuggle with her on the couch, too.
Yeah. Logan.
Eat the leftover chicken parmesan from... That should have been one of his questions. Who made that chicken parmesan?
Who did? It was Stefan. Oh my God, that's so funny. They did eat those leftovers. I know it.
I know it. What about you, Brenna?
Okay, so my favorite line is, stop your little bromance bitch act. Very aggressive coming from Matt.
But I love it.
But I'm here for it.
Yeah.
All right.
Fuck, marry, kill.
Let's do this.
Are you ready? Do you want to go first?
I think I'm ready.
Okay, great.
All right. I am going to fuck Damon. That's not that surprising. He was looking cute when he was angry on the phone with Stefan when he was cleaning up his wounds. We did not get as good of an ab shot as we got of Stefan, but I was here for it.
Yeah.
Okay. Then for my marry, I think I'm gonna marry Alaric, because he's already shown in the mere 2 episodes that he's been in that he is a family man, protecting not only Jeremy from whatever the weird shit Mayor Lockwood was doing, but also obviously is clearly interested in Jenna and is far more just a better guy, it seems, than Logan.
Certainly.
So I feel like that's some nice stable energy. And then I'm going to kill Elena because she just was irritating me to no end this episode. And while I'm so glad that she got laid, because clearly she needed it, but my God, girl, I hope that we don't get as much flip-flopping in the latter part of this season, because it's been too much for me.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's hard after coming off of the flip-flopping of the Vicky, Tyler, Jeremy.
It's just because it's gone because it was like not that bad, and then it just kind of got there. And I know, again, like I said in my final thoughts and hot takes, it is a teen drama. I get it. There's gonna be a lot of that. But I'm just saying that Elena, come on, girl.
Yeah.
So you're dying today. You're dying this week.
You're going to die today. So I'm going to make a controversial choice. I'm going to fuck Elena.
Oh.
See, of course I want to fuck Stefan. I mean, we get a great ab count, all of that stuff. But I really, as much as she pissed me off this episode, I like her taking charge.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's very attractive. And for someone who was probably a virgin, like, she, she was taking off her clothes. She made him feel comfortable. She led him up the stairs, even though she'd never been there. And so I don't know what kind of lay she would be, but you know what? I like the vibe she was bringing to that party.
Okay.
And yeah, so why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Also, wait. Okay, this is kind of goes into like a hot take, final thought. As she's driving on the country road before she sees the figure, and she's like very upset. Her lips are perfectly glossed. And I'm like, girl, they were not like that because you just had sex and you didn't get water. So it's not even like your lips you've been hydrated. I'm just saying.
Wait, can I just say I forgot my one other thought of why I'm killing Elena is because of just for Caroline. And that bullshit of whatever, like her weird flirty shit. That was another reason. Sorry, I just wanted to add that to my. I wanted to add that to my reasons of why I'm killing her. But I respect that you wanting to fuck her though. Okay, keep going.
Part of it is also she'll have to stop talking.
Oh, that's also important. That's true.
Shut up and do me, Elena. All right, I'm gonna marry another controversial. Caroline would be my go-to, and I will always. We're in a loving, committed relationship. I'm gonna marry Tyler.
Okay, do say more.
We are starting to peel back the onion, the really dented, messed up onion that is Tyler Lockwood, right?
Yeah.
He is a tortured artist with great penmanship.
That's true.
As someone who loves cursive, he writes in cursive. That's hard to find. He stands up to his dad,
Yeah.
who definitely is abusive.
Yeah.
And chooses not to fight Jeremy, even when he's told to do it.
Yep.
He also, the first time Jeremy comes up to him, all he says is like, go to hell. And he walks away.
Yep.
I feel like there's a lot of growth happening. Obviously, yes, he punches Jeremy in the face, but I don't totally blame him. I do feel like Jeremy's whole, and I know he gets mad at Tyler for it, but it's like, you are basically saying because we both fucked the same girl.
Yeah. It wasn't the
that we
greatest...
have things in common, because like Tyler was not in love with Vicky, like Jeremy obviously was. So you don't have that emotional depth in common, right? So it's like a weird thing.
Yeah.
So, but that moment of Tyler really being like, I don't know why I'm like this. I'm like, I could fix him.
Yeah.
I could heal him.
Yeah.
Let's get him into some therapy.
Yeah, just take care of him, because obviously his mom's kind of a bitch too, even though, like, I mean, we have mixed feelings on Mrs. Lockwood, but she is a bitch as well.
Money can't buy you family.
No.
So, yeah, I just want to take care of him. And then I didn't plan this, but I'm going to kill his dad.
Okay, great. I love that.
I'm going to kill Mayor Lockwood because he's a piece of shit, and he's the next problematic man, that deeply problematic man that I hope dies on the show.
Great.
And I had decided him actually before I decided anyone else. So I didn't do it because of Tyler, but we're going to say I'm doing it also because of Tyler.
He was honestly like on the honorable mention list for me. And then so was Sheriff Forbes. She was also on there.
Absolutely on that list for me. So,
but oh my gosh.
Yeah. I know some real wild takes, but this is where I'm at in this moment.
And I'm so glad.
All right. That's a wrap for today.
Oh my goodness, we've done it. Okay. So, as a reminder, you can follow us online. It's fun over there. I promise. We do try to make our online presence fun.
Yeah.
And just take a gander if you haven't, and follow us. And that is at Hello Sister Podcast on Instagram and Threads. Or if you would like to write us an email, you can do so at hellosisterpodcast1864.com.
At gmail.com.
Oh. I said that so confidently.
You did, and you did so well.
Hold on, I'll try one more time. Hello Sister Podcast 1864 at gmail.com. Okay.
Well, thank you, Brenna, for always making me smile and for always supporting my dreams, unlike Sheriff Forbes with Caroline. And as always, a huge thanks to our husbands, Alex and Dwight, for all of their hard work and support.
And thank you, Christina, for never leaving me alone at a career fair so I can catch a ride, so I don't need to catch a ride with a scummy undead reporter. It means a lot, really.
You're welcome.
And thank you for listening and watching and whatever you're doing. This is a lot is happening. Just, you know what? Thank you for listening to Hello Sister. I need to go to bed. Good night. Bye. Hello Sister is written, directed, and hosted by Christina Rosso-Schneider and Brenna Dinon. Graphic designs are by Alex Schneider. Music is written and produced by Dwight Evan Young. Sound design and video are recorded and produced by Dwight Evan Young and Brenna Dinon. Hello Sister Podcast is a Bad Day Media production. Oh my goodness. What a silly Billy time.